Welcome to Enter Skirpinant of Champions Podcast. This is the podcast where we take our favorites in movies and gaming primarily and some other topics, and we put them against each other in a tournament format. And we're actually, it's been 3 weeks of top tens, we're actually doing a tournament this time.
Yes.
My name is Jeff. My name's Jeff, and and I occasionally review movies. I used to write for Horror Geek Life and some other whatever. It doesn't matter what I did. Anyway, so I'm joined by Kyle, who's over in Colorado, and he streams, and he's an occasional guest on Fathers of the Grind, apparently.
I'm moving in. I'm taking tenant over there. No, we're over there talking video games for a bit. Those guys know their stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's overwhelming sometimes.
And it's been super fun to hear the Game of the Year debates that we're totally going to kind of do something similar.
Do you see me out there just fighting for Persona 5 right now? Have you been listening to that?
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous, dude. I play Persona 5
too. And then Derek will come out
of
nowhere and just start backing me up, and I'm like, what's happening right now?
Right. It's fucking ridiculous in my opinion.
Good.
We're going to talk about Persona 5
like
at the end of the year, or not. I mean, I guess in a couple weeks. I say end of the year, it kind of is, but by the time people are listening to this, the year's over. But yeah, we're definitely gonna talk about Persona 5 and how wrong they are for the music thing, especially. Like, it's just.
Yeah, why did I have to fight about that? I'm like,
I don't know.
Could you just not have listened to one song before y'all came on? Like, it makes me so mad. Anyway, it's good. It's good stuff.
And even Nier, which won goddamn
it actually
award.
Won. Yeah, and I like how the justification, they're like, I think our community just chose that because the Game Award just chose that. I'm like, I don't think, no, I think we just chose it because it's good music, but that's fine. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine.
Go with your Mario instincts, morons. No, I'm just kidding. It's been really fun to listen to that, so everybody should go listen to that.
They're great, yeah. Fathers of the Grind. Check it out on any podcast application.
We're also joined by resident doctor JD.
That's a good pun, resident doctor, because
John Doctor.
You do your residency and all that.
Oh yeah. Oh,
yeah.
I didn't even guess. I totally knew that. I totally said that. That's why I said that.
That's why he said it. Yeah.
Glad I could break my surgery schedule to get on with you guys. It's
really
always
busy.
It's a highlight of my day.
I know you're about to be paged, but
probably
you're just gonna be like, look, lady, assuming it's a lady. I don't know.
Look, I know I have a lot more to say about Pirates of the Caribbean, good things, but I gotta go. Gotta go. Because the guys.
I would love for anyone to try and tell me one good thing about that movie. So can't wait.
It ends.
Yeah, it definitely does. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it ended. Oh, we'll get there. Never mind. We'll get there.
Also, the new girl is kind of attractive and
she's very good looking.
That's about it.
Oh, you mean not Space but Pirate Ray? Yeah, sure. She's great.
Pirate Ray.
Yeah, she's great. I like her fine, I guess. Yeah.
It's interesting. Today we decided so we could do a tournament about something 2017 based. We decided to go based on the movie box office because the TV has their Nielsen ratings, and who the fuck knows how that works now with Netflix and everything. I don't, at least. You could explain it to me and I still would be like, I don't get it. And with games, it's kind of hard sales, I guess.
The NPDs, I guess, would be the charts.
But the box office is like a thing. Everybody knows what that is for movies. So, I mean, we just decided
it's the money you literally pay to go see with the movie.
Right.
That's what the box office is.
So we decided to take the top 16 at the box office from this year, put them in a tournament similar to, how we do tournaments in other episodes. It's number 16 versus 1 and stuff like that. And this is also a chance for us to fully display our superiority complex because... what the fuck are people watching, man? Like, half of these movies are shit, so...
I know. I'm going to get so mad. And many of times I'm going to go, this is why we have this, people. So just get ready for me to say that, ad nauseum. So
it's fucking... God damn it, it's horse shit. And it's kind of evident by the first round. There's some great ones, too, and this does give us a chance to... excuse me, Jesus. To talk about comic book superhero movies, which I don't think will even... have a chance to be brought up in our end of year talk because there's so many other great movies that aren't comic book based.
Well, we're film guys,
Yeah, we don't put comic book movies on our shit. This year forced you to become one because it's kind of like everything that's amazing doesn't involve fucking Thor.
Yeah, right.
Even though that's a great movie, I love Thor. Cool. We'll talk about Thor 2. That's going to come up. All the MCU movies, even a DC one, even 2 DC ones. One of them is not good at all. So this is going to be really, really fun. The variety is going to be really puzzling.
I'm more excited to talk about one of those DC movies than the other. And spoilers, it's not the good one.
I wonder if we can get them to fight each other just so we can be like, this is how you do it, DC.
We should.
So this week, I forgot I still got the soundboard. I can throw in occasional fart when necessary, which will absolutely be necessary because
I assumed you were doing it the entire time already. So
I haven't yet. I'm surprisingly showing some restraint, which is weird for me. But the first matchup is two farts fighting each other. We have Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. This is number 16. Like Blade Runner was 32, and this was 16.
I'm extremely mad at the world right now.
Yes.
Yep.
So give that one a fart. Versus number 1 seed, which is like kind of like a half fart. I don't really have like a squeaker, but Beauty and the Beast is number 1 still somehow.
Really?
As of the time of this recording, it's still number 1. Star Wars is totally going to take it over this weekend, I think.
Okay.
So I guess peek behind the curtain for everybody. We're recording this before New Year's.
Yeah.
So sorry if you're
Still
listening to this going,
2017.
no, it's not.
2017 episode. You know.
Yeah,
how it
it's we kind of wanted to. We were gonna do top 10 TV next, but then Black Mirror decided to release on the very last day of the fucking year. So, give us
Which
a
I
break.
will watch all 6 of those episodes that day.
Me
so.
too.
Yep.
Me
Easy.
too. I'm
Probably at
excited.
work.
I'm so excited. But we do have 2. Are these 2 Disney movies? Yeah, they are.
Oh,
Disney's all
Gross.
over this 16, man. So yeah, Pirates versus Beauty and the Beast, and first up is Kyle, who just saw both of them, I
Good.
think today or
God,
yesterday.
yeah, I saw those movies back to back actually.
Yeah.
So I saw 2 movies. One we'll get into later. Then I watched Pirates, which I hated every fucking waking moment of that movie. You guys were like, oh, like the fight. No, they weren't. I don't remember a single fight scene that was good or memorable or interesting or held my interest. So sorry. I just thought that maybe I just went in just like blindly hating this movie as is.
Mm-hmm.
You had to tell me there was a 4th one that I didn't see. You're like, it's Penelope Cruz. And I'm like, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, I missed a movie apparently. Had no consequence to my understanding of this movie.
No, not at all.
Just hated that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even tell you. Why is Johnny Depp even there? What's he there for?
I'm super confused about the timeline.
Does he have any consequence in that movie whatsoever?
The timeline for this movie too, because when we last saw Will and Elizabeth, the most boring couple in the history of Disney movies, the most
So
boring,
true.
attractive couple.
I know they're so attractive and so boring.
They both put each other to sleep. The post-credits scene is them putting each other to sleep. But it's funny that last time we saw them was 10 years ago? Pirates 3 came out or whatever?
Sure.
And their
that
kid
sounds
is
right.
18? The math just doesn't add up for me, at all.
magic.
Yeah.
Magic.
So did 18 years pass? Or
Yeah, I'm
you know.
confused. So, way more time passed than whatever. I guess they did
And
the
why
same
did
thing for
Johnny
Dark
Depp
Knight
not
Rises,
age
so-
at all? Kinda, not even a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. He didn't
de-ages
change
a
at
little
all.
bit.
Even Orlando Bloom
He
didn't
does
really change.
de-age. By the way, that's the worst CG I've ever seen. Of them trying to recapture someone's likeness. Oh my god!
When he smiled, it was awful.
Give me
Yeah.
Grand Moff Tarkin and Leia all day over that. That was super
Right.
gross looking to me. Even the Robert Downey, young Robert Downey Jr. killed that even.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it looks so weird to me.
Mhm.
Anyways, if I had to pick between these 2 train wrecks, even though I probably like Beauty and the Beast more than I should as a 31-year-old man, it was just fine. The movie's fine. I'll probably go Beauty and the Beast this round because Pirates is just I think it's nauseatingly bad. I just
Yeah.
don't like that movie.
The only reason I didn't quick vote is because it's which one did we like? Didn't we like less or whatever? I don't fucking know how to. vote that.
right.
Which one is less of a fart, basically?
Yeah.
I'm next in this round, and yeah, we're gonna make it a sweep, I guess. Beauty and the Beast is just a better movie, I guess.
Yeah.
I thought it was fine. I remember seeing so many people raving about it. At least friends of mine, which aren't good resources because I think they like the movie Life with Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal in space.
No.
And that movie was fine.
I still haven't seen that because of all the fineness that surrounds it.
Right.
It's Beauty and the Beast quality in space. That's all it is. And I'm just like, you shouldn't be. This is the best movie. Just raise your standards a little bit. That's all I'm saying. Again,
Please.
superiority complex coming through. But yeah, Beauty and the Beast is. Oh yeah, it had the Be Our Guest number, and that was really spectacular to me.
Oh, I got chills. Yeah, I got chills.
The visuals were fucking great in that scene. Whereas Pirates, you know, it was a movie. So I don't remember anything else about that movie. And I saw it like 5 days ago. Zombie sharks. That's not what I'm celebrating, though.
Abrupt zombie sharks.
Kind of upset that happened. I'm just, God damn, that movie's so bad.
They like put in as much effort as they did into any of the other sequels, which is very little. Like,
can we make a rule now? If you're gonna hire Javier Bardem as a villain, make sure your script is good, because obviously he can't just act bad guy. Like, you gotta have there's gotta be more to it than that.
Absolutely.
We've used him too many times as a bad guy and failed. Like, so it kind of undoes almost his performance in, No Country for Old Men. Not that it completely undoes it. Like, he's not like this, like, oh yeah, just get that guy as the bad guy. Like, he's a shoo-in, No, you've tarnished that already, so.
Not a good idea anymore. So Beauty and the Beast moves on. I don't know if JD had any ammunition for Pirates.
I have a lot. I have a lot of ammunition. Oh shit. Sorry, my sharks just swam off. That was my ammo. So damn it. Can't control those zombie sharks.
Wait, can I just ask something? Like, you know how Javier Bardem like walks around on like peg like arms all movie or whatever, or like walks around on his swords?
Right.
How is he running full speed on the water at the end of the movie?
I don't.
And why wasn't he just doing that the entire movie?
How is Jeffrey Rush that like teenage-ish girl's daughter or father? That doesn't make sense.
I don't know. I have no idea.
He's like 80.
He must have been shooting swimmers at the age of 55. So.
Like, because you gotta assume that whoever the mother is would be like beautiful to offset that stuff. Like,
she would have to be the most gorgeous woman in the world, because
I'm sorry,
is awful looking.
No, wait until the next movie when we meet the mother.
I can't.
Shut up! Don't do that. I can't handle that.
Yeah, man. I don't think there was any shot for Pirates. That was.
I'm gonna say.
I don't think so.
Like, objectively, that's the worst movie I've seen all year. But I'm still gonna put Justice League lower on my list because fuck that movie.
Wasted potential. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Justice League, I rated as a worst movie on Letterboxd. I was just like, I don't know if it actually is a worst movie, or if I was just mad at the, like you're saying, the lack of or the missed opportunity. But
yeah,
right.
Man.
Beauty and the Bee moves on. Bee and the Bee moves on.
I can't believe that movie is moving on.
I know,
good job, guys.
It's
what have you done?
One time it'll move on, probably. I don't know. We'll see how the rest of it pans out. But Bee and the Bee. All right. I just had to do the air horn. Sorry, guys. All right. So the next matchup is very interesting. Very interesting. Not because it's like a unique debate or anything. It's actually gonna be a fucking massacre.
Is this the one? Is this the one?
It's number 9 seed Logan.
Yes.
Versus number 8 seed Despicable Me 3.
What?
I played the comedy drums. This is not a joke, actually, but it should be. It's just like a joke round.
This is absolutely a joke.
Yeah. So we're gonna speed vote this one for sure. I think I'm the only one that sat through that goddamn droll that was Despicable Me 3, which is the consistent dumbing down of our children, or responsible for it at least. That and Emoji Movie, shit like Emoji Movie and Angry Birds Movie. Just stop. Just fucking stop.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Our kids are smarter and they deserve better.
They absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
At least Pixar's still trying. Like, guys, we're trying. They're just not responding to like smart.
They don't like it anymore.
Yeah, so JD's first in this one. I guess we're speed voting though. So JD, what do you vote?
It's gonna be Logan with a foot blade to Gru's dick, a hard foot blade to Gru's dick. That's the the main character of Despicable Me, Gru. By the way.
Oh, I was like, who are you talking about? And I saw all those movies.
Gru?
Yeah, Gru. And the only reason I know that is because I have IMDb pulled up right now and it's in the description. So
his catchphrase is "I am Gru." It's weird.
Really?
I am Gru.
No.
Sorry. So I'm not. Well, I'm not next. Kyle's next. Kyle, what's your vote?
Logan. Yeah.
So Logan swept, and I would have voted Logan anyway too. But Despicable Me 3 is a piece of shit, and it makes me actively angry. Like, it's like the Minions.
$264 million that movie brought in.
So fucking ridiculous.
Get out of here.
I mean, I'm glad Logan, like, look, we shouldn't, because we're kind of establishing that the general movie-going audiences don't really give a shit about challenging movies, and they're kind of dumb based on this list, I guess. Or they only care about
how
the
much
kids,
of that
obviously.
money? How much of that money is reluctancy on the parents' fault,
Yeah,
or on the
it
parents'
is.
part? You know, like your kid
Almost
won't
all
shut the
that.
fuck up about it.
Yeah, that's true. They see the bright characters
Right.
on the screen and
Right.
marketing, baby.
Yep.
Oh, you mean the elves and the orcs from the movie Bright, or are you talking about?
It's an allegory for racism, Jeff.
Oh my god.
Fairy lives don't
Is
matter
that really how
today.
people are describing their support for the movie?
What's that?
I hope not, because it's so blatant. Like, it's beating you over the head with the metaphor of that movie. Like,
Is that really what the metaphor is?
yeah,
I 100% just made that up. I've never seen that movie. I don't give a shit.
But
so-
it felt
I
I
have
have
right,
no
though.
idea that that's
Felt
You nailed
actually
it.
true. That's crazy to me.
You nailed it. You don't need to see it now because you're
Yeah.
already a scholar on that fucking movie.
I like how like Max Ennis is like, yeah, I got like 3 more of these I'm ready to pump out.
Yeah.
No, you don't, because
this could
no
be
one
my
wants
Star
it.
Wars.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Jackass! Oh, I can't believe you said that.
It's so fucking good. Oh,
This could be
man.
my Star Wars. Yeah, it's actually going to be your tomb because it sucks.
Yeah, Logan, I hope he has the opportunity here to, I mean, at least in my brain, the way that Despicable Me is being eliminated is by a brutal, bloody death at the hands of Logan's adamantium claws, because
Fine.
that's what they deserve.
Okay.
It's not fucking funny. You're not words. It's just fucking lazy. All right. Anyway, sorry. Moving on.
No, I feel like it's good for you.
God damn it. Number 13 seed. Lego Batman made the list. Oh, cool. All right, cool.
Good.
Lego Batman is number 13 versus number 4 seed. Ooh, Guardians 2. This is interesting.
Damn.
This is interesting.
This is interesting.
I'm first in this. Oh, fuck me. I'm first in this round. I'm totally going to get outvoted here. Lego Batman is the one I'm going to vote for.
I was gonna say I knew you were going for that one.
I'm going to get
I love that
outvoted
movie a lot.
out
Outvoted
the
on
ass. I love that movie
When
a
was
lot.
fast track this, guys?
I love that movie a lot. Like, it's I think up until recently, actually, it was in my honorable mentions for the year, and then I watched it like 2 more times, and I was just kind of like, it's not like Forgetting Sarah Marshall where the jokes are like the refreshers and you just laugh all over again, like it's the first time you watched it. The surprise was what added so much of the humor, like the surprise element of the script and stuff. So now that you know all the beats, you're kind of like, you're not really laughing. It's still, I will always remember, that's one of my favorite movie going experiences in the theater. Like, I was, this is going to sound creepy, but I was alone in the theater with my pants off. Shut up, don't judge
Pee Wee
me.
Herman style. I know this story.
No, but it was like parents and kids and like me, of course, because, you know, I can't not see movies. And yeah, it's just like, it's one of the most enjoyable theatrical experiences when you have a kids movie up there entertaining the children with the dumb humor in it that we no longer laugh at, and then they're throwing out like very, very specific Batman humor or Hollywood humor about Hollywood that adults are like, haha, I see what they did there. Like, I'm looking at other parents going, that's funny, right? Like,
Yeah, did you hear that, parent? Yeah.
and the Batman references are fucking deep in this movie. It's
They are.
crazy how big of fans. I don't know who wrote this movie. I don't really care to find out because it probably won't last that long. But it's pretty crazy how big of Batman fans the writers of this movie were. Like, they took everything, all the canon, movies, comics, they took it all so seriously. Every villain that you see Joker list off is 100% real and Googleable. You can Google. That's what he says at the end. You can Google it, kids. After that whole villain run, and it's just so goddamn it. It's just so funny, and I can relate to, you know, being alone and not really having any friends. That's Batman's whole arc, right? Is he's kind of a dick and shuts himself off to people because he lost the 2 people that he loves the most. This is more about his solitude than any other Batman movie has been, but that's because it's a kids movie and they can explore those kind of themes. instead of it being like the city's gonna burn to the ground. What do we do? Which, I mean, there's some of that because it's still a Batman movie at its core. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's the best Batman movie because that's fucking ridiculous. It's like calling Spaceballs the best Star Wars movie. So,
Yeah, what?
yeah, I hate it when people say that. One of the best Batman movies. I'm like, it's not a fucking Batman movie. It's like a parody. It's so ridiculous. They just had the rights to be a parody. It's ridiculous. But Lego Batman's my vote, and I'll die on this island. You guys go ahead. And who's next? It's JD.
And this one's, I looked at my list. I've got these back to back on my list for the year.
Wow.
I mean, they're not like high up there or anything, but shit. I think Lego Batman for me probably could have used that theatrical experience like you got, Jeff, because I watched this one alone on my computer and I wasn't really like super engaged to it. So
bummer.
I think like how I feel now, considering we're like 10 months removed from that, and then Guardians was what, like May?
Yeah,
it was.
Rewatched both of these.
Lego Batman was February, and that shit still outlasted like 15 other movies. That's crazy to me.
I think a rewatch might tip me to go with you, because Guardians, like, I mean, we've talked about the movie and the flaws and everything with the villain, and just it didn't live up to the first one, and that one sits with me for sure. But it was still really, really fucking fun. So I'm gonna go Guardians by the slimmest of margins, and I don't even know if I feel good about it, but I'm gonna go Guardians.
Yeah, this is kind of a dirty round.
It's dirty, man.
I don't like it. Kyle,
I feel dirty.
Yeah.
I feel dirty because I feel like we're just snubbing Jeff here, because Lego Batman's fun. It's really I like it. I think you said you like it more than Lego Movie. I like Lego Movie a little more.
Yeah,
I think it's got a little more heart, stuff like that.
Yeah. I say a lot of people, I mean everybody. Like, I'm alone.
Yeah, but I think you're right on the money when you're talking about like the depths that they go to with like Batman.
Yeah.
You know, like knowledge and stuff like that is just like, it's crazy.
It's
like some stuff
deep.
even goes over my head. I'm like, I fucking missed that joke. That's fine though. You know, but like other ones, I'm like, oh, I know that one.
Yeah.
So like, it's just it you know, they did a really good job with that movie. Will Arnett's like born for voicing that role. It's hilarious. He puts his own great spin on it. But yeah, I like Guardians. You know, I've seen Guardians twice now. It got better the second time for me. It didn't fix any of the problems. I didn't watch 2 and go, whoa, I fixed everything that I thought was wrong with it the first time. But I was like, oh, okay. You know, you know, I get it. This is fun. They're just trying to get there. You know, they're just trying to. They're telling a 2 or 3 arc story in one movie. Okay.
Right.
That's interesting. But that's what they're doing. So that's fine, I guess. And I think the spectacle of it all is amazing. I think it's like one of Marvel's like most like, besides Doctor Strange, you're just like, what the fuck is even going on screen right now? There's just a lot of colors and shapes and geometrical patterns and stuff like that that are just alien to us. It's cool. It's a cool looking movie. A lot of great moments. Yondu's got a lot of great moments. So I'm gonna have to go Guardians in this one. It's not gonna go far. So.
It may not. You never know. But I mean, if it goes up, it continues. If it goes up against the other fucking terrible trash fires that are in this list,
next up, it's Beauty and the Beast and Guardians. Fuck.
Because Guardians 2 is absolutely rewatchable, and I guess I should have stated some of its flaws that made me lean towards Lego Batman. Was, I mean, we can get there whenever we need to poke holes in Guardians 2, so I can just hold on to that. But anyway, Guardians 2 moves on. I'm not even upset by it. It's still a very enjoyable movie. I just kind of walked out of it going, what the fuck? Like, what? Were they going somewhere? Why did so much that middle part not like nothing happened? It was weird. Stuff happened, but nothing happened. It was like a weird combination of things.
You're not wrong. I mean,
like, I wanted to see all the characters interact and breathe more, but I didn't at the same time. Like, I needed progress to happen in the plot itself. It's very weird feelings. I feel very weird about that movie. I still enjoy watching it though, and it is on Netflix. Everybody. They're
like split up half the movie too, which I'm like, yeah, all right.
So the next round is, oh man, I'm so happy. This one made it. The next round is number 12, Dunkirk.
Ooh. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It made at least the top 16. It was in 10 for a while. Versus number 5 seed, Spider-Man: Homecoming, which is a great blockbuster. Man, Dunkirk though, holy shit, I love that movie.
Yep. Anyway, I like it a little bit.
Anyway, Kyle's first in this round. Did Kyle die? Kyle, are you dead?
No, I muted myself on accident, apparently.
Okay.
So you're talking about a little boy Spider-Man who's just coming into his own after Civil War, and the Mac Daddy of directors making a World War II movie. I'm surprised we're not fast-tracking this as much as we all like Spider-Man.
You know what?
Yeah,
sorry. Should we do a quick vote on this one? Homecoming's good, but I mean, should we not even?
I like Spider-Man a lot, but like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Couldn't have said it any better myself.
That's it. That's a good point. So Kyle's going Dunkirk.
We can I'm Dunkirk, obviously.
I'm going Dunkirk. JD, are you going Dunkirk too?
I am going Dunkirk hard.
Dunkirk 2, getting Kirkier.
Dunkirk 2.
The search for Kirk.
Captain rises to the ranks of commander because it's about Captain Kirk. That was dumb. That was way too long to get to that joke. That was fucking terrible. We should. I mean, Homecoming's really good. Like, it's my second favorite MCU movie of the year. Like, honestly, the rankings here are kind of weird because it's in reverse. Like, Guardians made the most, and then Spider-Man, and then further down is Thor. And I would rank them in reverse personally.
I'd flip that completely too. I'd flip that too.
Homecoming, I walked out of that going, I think that was better than Spider-Man 2, and then I rewatched Spider-Man 2 again, and I was like, I don't fucking know anymore. What is life?
You Toby fanboys.
Spider-Man 2 is so awesome. Good on its own.
It's super good. Superman 2 is awesome. Or Spider-Man 2.
Superman. I haven't seen Superman 2.
Superman 2 is awesome, actually. So
I haven't seen it. I need to.
Actually a good movie.
But yeah, Homecoming's really good, and Michael Keaton was fucking great, man. Just a human villain for once, like a dude who has motives that you can relate to, and it's not some giant world-ending thing. It literally is a neighborhood Spider-Man story. He's just trying to honestly just protect his one friend who has a connection to the Avengers. That's all Spider-Man's trying to do.
It felt genuine too.
Yeah.
Like like he just was in Civil War, so like maybe it should feel like he's part of like a bigger thing now.
Right.
But no, they do a good job of having Iron Man going, listen, like you're kind of on like training wheels.
Right
now. Yeah. Like we're gonna see how you do right now. So why don't you stick to your neighborhood and make it safe? And that's exactly what he does, and it makes sense within the context of like where he is in his story.
And he is so similar to Tony Stark that I can kind of understand why he's mad. Like Tony's like, shit. I don't want you to become me. So it makes sense that he's like, I'm going to take away the suit because nobody took the suit away from me when I was, he was in the dumps in Iron Man 2, and nobody really, I think somebody came and fought him. Rhodey fought him for a little bit at his house. But you know what I mean? Like, he didn't have anybody there to steer him right or wrong.
It took until 3 where the suit was taken from him, not by somebody, but by, just because it was just taken from him by just natural causes. And, again, like maybe he does wish that someone did that to him at an earlier age or something like that, so he learned a lesson.
There's definitely parallels there because Tony would have done the same fucking thing if he had a suit that was on training wheels protocol. Like, of course he would hack into it and be like, I gotta be able to do whatever I want in this suit. It's so great, and we finally got a kid like it's not some 30-year-old passing to be like, hey, what are you up to, kids? Like, what's that Steve Buscemi thing where he goes up to he's a kid in Undercover?
30 Rock. Yeah. How's it going, cool kid? He's wearing the backwards hat and has a skateboard. Yeah.
It's so good. Dunkirk moves on, but Homecoming is not without its merit, and it's still very enjoyable to watch, especially with the Donald Glover part and stuff. Because that dude's just amazing as shit, and I don't care what anybody says. His stand-up special was funny.
Yeah.
So suck it.
What the hell was that about?
I have no idea. I'm like, did you watch the same one or? Oh, whatever.
I'm like, that stand-up comedians sometimes take about 10 years to get their first special, and he got his too.
Yeah.
So.
And he was like, I'm good after that.
Regardless of how you feel about it, that's fucking great.
Yeah. Anyway, Dunkirk moves forward. What a shock. What a very big surprise for this podcast.
Yep.
So this matchup just changed because the rankings changed in the box office today.
What?
So number 15 seed is Boss Baby, everybody's favorite baby, favorite butt baby
slapping
butt.
Good time.
Versus
still uncomfortable with all the stuff that you're sharing with me.
Versus number 2 seed Star Wars: The Last Jedi. So we're gonna quick vote this one. That's what's gonna happen right now.
Actually, I feel like we need to talk this one out.
Hold on. Let me type this out so just in case we can take our time a little bit on this one. So how you guys doing? Doing all right?
I don't know. I feel all right. I feel like Last Jedi is kind of stupid, but
Yeah.
I think we all feel that way. So. I like everybody in the world.
Yeah.
Hashtag Ryan Johnson ruined everying.
Yeah. He doesn't know anything about Star Wars.
It's like Rose and Jar Jar.
He actually really doesn't know anything about Star Wars.
I'm already filling it in. Last
pretty
Jedi.
upfront about that.
But let's do the official vote, I guess, even though I filled it in, but who cares? JD.
Oh, Boss Baby.
Okay, I figured.
Lock it
Kyle.
Boss Baby.
God damn it. All right, Boss Baby moved forward. Shit,
No!
that took me by surprise.
Hold on.
I said it was official.
Can I retract?
Yes.
Okay, Boss Baby again because it's that good.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna double down on Boss Baby. Thanks.
Always double down on Boss Baby. Always.
Actually, you know
All
what?
right.
Last Jedi didn't have enough baby buttocks and fart jokes, so yeah, I'm gonna go with the Boss Baby. You're right.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Turned him.
So Last Jedi moves forward. Sarcastic voting aside, it moves forward. And Boss Baby, I'll say this. I expected to finish that movie. It's on Netflix now, so I didn't walk out of a theater. I'm not paying money to see a fucking movie. I finished that movie on Netflix, and I was like, I really thought I was gonna hate that more. That's really the main thought I came out with from that movie.
I agree to that.
Like having a sibling or any sibling really. I mean, there's kind of a relatable quality in it, and they just go instead of it being a Pixar thing where him being a boss baby is a metaphor. It's an actual plot device, and that's where it loses me. Oh, he was born with an adult brain, but he looks like a baby, and it's like that doesn't make fucking sense. That's stupid.
I just don't like the unreliable narrator trope. Like when you've established that everything you say is bullshit, and I know it's a kids movie, so they're not really trying to go the authentic route.
Right.
But yeah, it's just like I can't believe anything you say at this point. Like none of this is happening the way you say it.
Yeah, and it's Tobey Maguire narrating, and he's a fucking asshole, as we all know.
Yeah, I looked that up halfway through. I was like, that guy sounds familiar.
That guy sounds like he's really tired. Oh, it's Tobey Maguire.
Accurate.
All right, so we're going to save our Last Jedi ammunition. I'm glad we avoided the matchup that I told you guys it would be yesterday.
Wonder Woman and Get Out?
No, Get Out and Last Jedi. I thought it was going to be that.
Okay.
As of yesterday, it was
now
going
it's
to be that.
Wonder Woman Get Out.
And I would have had to have voted Get Out. I honestly would have had to have voted Get Out over Last Jedi, and I would have fucking hated myself. Anyway.
Yeah. I'm glad we didn't have to go down that.
Yeah, I know.
I still like you.
All right. So the next matchup is that movie that's about family, Fate of the Furious. That's number 10. Thanks everybody for your money for that one. That's fucking great.
You guys, stop it.
Just
go see this movie, but don't go see it twice. You don't need to see it twice. Don't do that.
Yeah, just stop.
Because I know that there's not enough dude bros out there to see this movie this many times. I know y'all went out there and saw it 4 times.
Right.
Just don't do that. Just see it once. Let it be.
It's about to lose to Thor Ragnarok, fortunately. Number 7.
Thank God. I was really afraid this movie was going to go along somehow.
And it's facing
up against
Justice League. God damn it.
Exactly. It's like, well, I mean, I have it ranked higher than Justice League, so fucking that's moving on.
Right. I do too. Or I did when I kept the ranking.
I had way more fun watching Fast 20 than I did Justice League. I was furious watching Justice League the entire time.
Couldn't tell.
You could tell. It was like it was fated. Like you were fated to be furious.
It was fated to be furious. I was the fate of the furious.
Oh my God, that's perfect. Anyway, Thor is gonna win this one, so we could just do a quick vote. It's me, then JD, then Kyle. So I vote for Thor. Thor.
Yeah, Thor, because I've seen it.
Okay, and Kyle votes for Thor.
I vote for Thor.
Thor moves on, and Fate of the Furious isn't without its fun qualities.
Yeah, I like the part where all the zombie cars are chasing the other car. That part was cool.
Yeah.
The part was rad. It was really cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah, there's some
all
cool
the set
shit in
pieces
there,
are great.
You
know what I didn't like? I thought the whole submarine end piece was stupid.
Yeah, this was incredibly
this isn't exciting at all. This is the equivalent of you blowing your entire load in the last movie, and then having like a just you're racing around like New York at the end.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh man, you really blew your entire budget before the third act came around here, didn't you? That's what this felt like. It was just like, oh, and then it's just submarine, and y'all are racing around it. I don't know. It just felt really uninspired, and in a movie that's about like flying cars and muscular men.
Very noisy. I mean, these movies are always noisy, but yeah, the ending was very noisy. It was really weird how the Honest Trailer pointed out how much whispering there is with Charlize Theron and Vin Diesel. A lot of grumbling and whispering, and.
Is she the mysterious woman?
Like this movie, asks you to rely on a memory that you won't have of all these characters.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, is that the cop girl from Brazil? Like, okay, that's weird.
Oh yeah.
Wait, you had a baby? That's weird. I definitely don't remember that.
And I like how The Rock and Vin had like no scenes together because of real drama. Like even at the end when they did a family reunion or whatever about family. The Rock was like on a different part of the air on the set or whatever, and it was just, or he came in and said, "Hey, all right, see you later," and fucking left.
They really don't like that guy.
No.
Like maybe Rock should leave. Yeah, I like that because like he's the only thing that saved their franchise, and they're like, we couldn't do it ourselves, so this superstar had to come in. Yeah, you guys suck. Yeah,
it was
You
was
literally
terrible
had to have a
before.
superstar come
Right.
in.
I like the prison fight with him and Jason Statham breaking out and stuff. There
Jason
was some cool stuff
Statham
there.
and him like spinning off into their own movies is the greatest thing to ever happen to this franchise.
Yeah, I agree.
Now I don't have to see all this other bullshit that I don't like, and I can just see the cool stuff.
This time it's not about family, like at all.
No,
so
not at all.
exciting.
And I'm glad. I'm very happy about that.
Me too.
And again, I like how Honest Trailer points out their like overt sexuality towards each other and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's so much of it. Okay, so Thor 3, Thor Ragnarok, whatever you want to call it, moves on. Thor 3. Moves on. Next matchup is number 14 seed Get Out! Sorry, that was loud. Versus number 3 seed Wonder Woman, which is a giant achievement for it to be that high. So, Kyle.
Oh, man.
Kyle, please enlighten me. Which one do you choose?
I'm on stage here, aren't I? I feel like Wonder Woman.
If you don't pick Wonder Woman, you're sexist. So go ahead.
I know that's
and
what
if
I'm
you don't
really
pick
afraid
Get Out,
of.
you're racist.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do I want to be here? God, what a conundrum. Wonder Woman is a technical achievement in the fact that DC did it. They finally made a good movie, and fight me, they never have before. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
In this universe, we're not talking Nolan stuff.
Yeah, you're talking Man of Steel onward. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry. This is the first one they've done. It's just like, oh wow, this is like genuinely good, and I'm not making excuses at all.
Right.
Neither should you be. But Get Out doesn't have the stigma that it has to prove anything. It just came out of nowhere. Like you're like that guy from Key and Peele. Like really, he's directing this movie, and it's amazing. Like it's super good.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's out. Like it has no right being that good, and the soundtrack's awesome too. Like where the hell? Like what the hell with that whole movie? What the hell? Seriously, I've actually watched that movie 3 times now, which is more than I usually watch a movie in a year. It just keeps on coming on.
Yeah, it is on HBO right now.
So it's just like, oh, great. And I really like it. I like it more every time I watch it. It actually crept on and off my top 10 list every year, all year, and it's still on it's on my 10 right now. I'm gonna probably have to go Get Out on this one. I love Wonder Woman a lot. Like I ate a lot. I put a lot of feet in my mouth when that movie came out, because I was just like, at that point I was like, you guys can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone just give up hope, stop it, like stop being hopeful, you're all stupid. We realized I was right later, but they got this one right.
Yeah,
so
they did because they let Patty Jenkins do her thing, it seemed like. And
yeah, I feel like they kind of just maybe step back a bit, whereas all the other movies you can just tell, like the suits were all like, no, make Cyborg funnier.
It's interesting how you see a good product when you don't hear about reshoots. I don't remember hearing about reshoots with Wonder Woman.
No, I don't either.
I mean, I could be totally wrong on that, but it's always a story with Justice League, and like even Rogue One was like a giant story about the reshoots, and Solo especially because it's the entire fucking movie is reshoots.
It's gonna be so bad.
I know, man. I don't have hope for that movie. but I didn't hear anything about Wonder Woman. It sounded like it was the way it was the entire time. And God, there's so much good about Wonder Woman. I'm next in this round, and I mean, I'm gonna have to agree with Kyle 100%. Actually, Get Out. It really did come out of nowhere. It was on the top 10 of the box office for a long time. Audiences agreed that it was fucking great, and it's still in my top 10 right now, honestly. I feel very passionately about Get Out, and there's so many layers to it as well. It's not just a there's nothing that's like typical horror about it. It doesn't seem like. I mean, it feels like Jordan Peele included tropes from other horror movies because he knows them so well. He knows the genre so well that he was like, look at this trope, and now see what I do with it. You know, like it all felt very fresh. Like the whole deer thing was very interesting. Because I see in every fucking horror movie now, somebody's on the way somewhere and they hit something, like a dog or a fucking. They just hit something. You know, they always do in every movie, and for them to do it in this movie, and then it kind of that deer thing coming back to in a poetic way for Daniel Kaluuya's character. I don't remember his character's name. That was, I never would have fucking thought of that. Like that was just there's brilliant layers to the screenwriting in this movie. It's so good. Wonder Woman's good, and then it's got that third act problem, you know. That's kind of typical of superhero movies, where like they feel like they have to give you a whole lot of noise at the end, and this movie really didn't need to do that. It was so good up until that point.
I would have rathered a much like subtler third act for sure.
Yeah, they were debating the finer points of humanity that I was so captivated by that entire debate, and then to have crusty British guy come in and like I'm the god of law.
I feel like the first time we see her, like, okay, so we see her fighting a god in the last of this movie, and then the next time we see her, she's fighting like bank robbers. It's just. Yeah. It's too jarring. It's too much of a whiplash for me. I'm like, this is way above her.
Yeah, it is.
So I don't know. It just DC just has that problem. But yeah, you don't have to fight a god at the end of every one of these movies. And it doesn't have to be Marvel too, guys. Like it doesn't have to be a cataclysmic event happening. That's like
Marvel's kind of shying away from that. It seems, which is great because like they started kind of doing it. They noticed the pattern with. I think they started noticing the pattern with Age of Ultron. They were like, all right, guys, we can't keep doing the sky shit anymore. So it was like Ant-Man had like a very interesting battle. Doctor Strange had this whole psychological warfare between Strange and Dormammu, and then from there it's like they noticed like it can't be the same thing. And Guardians, the ending of Guardians has a lot of God punching. You know what I mean? Has gods punching each other, and you're like, what the fuck are you punching each other? You can't do anything. Like, you're not gonna kill each other. Yeah. So Wonder Woman did some of that. I mean, with the exception of when she saw what's his name die, Chris Pine's character. I apologize. He was really great. I don't mean to.
Steve Trevor.
He was
Trevor.
Great.
Just watched it. So.
He's like a really famous character.
And their chemistry is fucking the tits. By the way, it's great. Sorry for the misogynistic fucking like.
No, yeah,
it's the tits.
Sorry.
When I'm talking about Wonder Woman, oh man, I just have to, scale it back a bit. Wonder Woman, you're not, you're still a woman. I got to knock you down a peg.
Heyo.
I'm kidding, guys. It's a joke. It's a really fucked up joke, but it's a joke. I assure you, it's a joke. I added the drums. There you go. But I got lost in their chemistry. Their chemistry is really great. You can tell they want to fuck each other. But when he dies, spoilers, sorry, for a movie that's 6 months old. But when he dies and she like loses her shit and like kills a bunch of people, and the way that the camera follows her, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And she did need an emotional moment like that. But I mean, I feel like he didn't need to be the threat. I don't know, man.
No Man's Land scene is awesome in that movie.
Oh man, that scene gives me chills. It makes me want to cry sometimes. It's weird.
Fucking good.
It's
weird.
It's
good. It's a great scene. It's like that's what superhero movies are supposed to be about. Is like movies that evoke that type of feeling where you're like, it's about to go down, and it does. It goes down. It goes down.
Yeah, and there's some of that they did that build up to in Logan. I feel Wonder Woman was more effective in doing it, but Logan does have that scene where X-23 walks out of the warehouse and you're like, shit is gonna happen. And it's awesome.
I feel like that movie has it twice, Logan, because at the end where he's like berserking through the forest and he's like when he takes the adrenaline shot, he's like, "Grr!" And you're like, yeah. And then he just goes on a head stabbing spree. Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah. Wonder Woman, though, that moment was like my favorite superhero moment in 2017. Like, bar none. One of my favorite scenes, period, in 2017. Like, they built that up so perfectly. Oh, they built it up so well. Because she's been told no the entirety of the movie.
And that entire trench walk that she's walking, everyone's like, "Oh, this is impossible. No one, we're not going to blah, blah, blah."
We've never moved an inch in years, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and then, exactly. It's just, it's piled on, but it's not in a bad way. You're just like, it's almost like you're just hearing all the oppression that she's heard since she's left her island, you know, or even while she was on her island. And then it just kind of all builds up to a moment where she's just like, no, I'm just going to do what I want to do. Which is
fucking done with being told what to do.
Fucking awesome, dude.
It's
so cool. Yeah, so
questionable
great.
CG in the moments after that, but that's still a great... I'm getting chills talking about that. See, I just want to watch that scene over and over and over again. It's so fucking good.
Yeah.
But Get Out overall, as an entire thing, is incredible. I didn't know Allison Williams could be that creepy. Well, she's on a whole other level in that movie, and it's weird that I have a boner right now.
It is.
Because we're talking about Wonder Woman and Allison Williams. It's weird.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on down there.
Oh my god, so inappropriate. Do the drums help at all for people that are like,
I don't think so. I can't
not
hear them, so they don't help on my end.
I think they help. I think they help. It softens the blow.
Oh, okay. All right, so this is where Justice League comes in. Here we go. We have number 11 seed Justice League. Number 11. You still,
11.
Even though it was a disappointment at the box office, because by any other standards, a superhero team up should be like number 1.
Yeah.
You still put it. Audiences still put it at number 11, despite it being trash.
Anyway. They spoke with their wallet, so good job, everybody. I'm actually proud of you here.
Another one.
Yeah, I'm actually proud of you here.
Number 6 seed is It. This one kind of came out of nowhere a little bit for in terms of box office.
Yeah.
For it to get so high, this is a good matchup, like, because I want to see It eviscerate the entire Justice League. That's kind of a thing I want to see now that I didn't know I wanted. So this is kind of cool, but I feel like we can quick vote this shit for sure.
Quick vote it.
We're going to quick vote this. Oh my god, this is going to be a good semifinal or quarterfinals.
It was surprisingly good, and Justice League was unsurprisingly bad.
That's so true. JD, you're first.
Hiya, Georgie.
So Justice League, got you. So Kyle, you're next.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go. It.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna vote for It. I'm gonna vote for It.
Vote for it.
I'm gonna vote for It.
Put it through.
We're gonna put it through. It comes at night, which is not the same It. It's a different It.
Different It.
Yeah.
Yeah. More obscure.
Maybe.
It's a more obscure.
We don't
Maybe
see
it doesn't
in that movie.
Yeah.
So.
It doesn't come at night.
Spoilers.
So shit. Do we want to pile on Justice League? I mean, I feel like I've done that so much. Okay, I know Kyle's got.
He's new. He's new. So, and I'm somewhat new. So I haven't gotten it out of my system yet.
I'm gonna have a liberating experience.
Okay, go ahead. Let's get.
That movie had so many opportunities to be good, and at the very beginning, like when it's just jumping to everybody. It's the worst editing I've ever experienced in a movie about like multiple stories or whatever. Like it's just like it creates like a whiplash effect. Like it keeps on. Oh, then we're gonna touch base with this person. We're gonna come over here. We're gonna go over there. It's just nothing like organic about it, if you will.
Right.
I will say, if we have to say one nice thing, let's just get it out of the way. Can we say that Superman got revived? Is that okay now? He's on all the posters now.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's on the marketing. Yeah.
Week 2, he's on the posters. Yeah.
That all that stuff is handled very well, which makes the rest of the movie very, like, I get more enraged thinking about it. Because I'm like, well, they know how to do something good. Yeah. Why didn't they just do that the whole movie? Like, that makes me mad. You actively chose to make bad decisions the entire movie. Like, that's kind of what I get from this,
Right.
And it just makes me mad. But yeah, I think all the big guns and all that stuff was handled super well. And then you never see anything of that quality ever again for the rest of the movie.
Yeah. It's such a shame.
And it takes an hour and 15 minutes to get to that point, and it's just like, I don't know. It's just, I felt it was a gigantic waste of 2 hours for me. Like, I don't think there were many redeeming factors of that. Like, I thought Batman vs. Superman was like a bloated kind of mess that I was like really happy to get through. Yeah. Justice League is a complete waste of time. Like, Like, yeah, go back and watch Batman vs Superman. Maybe you'll find some substance there. Like, you're not going to find anything here except for a very predictable third act. No chemistry between like a cast of people who should have ultimate chemistry, and they make Ezra Miller seem stupid. Like, he's a great actor, and I hate you and everything that you're doing in this movie. I hate it. Like, it just I hate your whole take on this character. I just don't like you. Like, and he's a great actor, and I'm mad that I feel that way about him in this movie.
What'd you think of the running style that they chose for him for
like
the Flash?
A monkey or something.
He runs like an idiot.
Yeah.
And I get that he's green. I've never fought people, but I don't care. You know how to run. Man, I have so many bad things to say about this movie that dive into deep spoiler territory. So I just don't want to do that. But Batman is the one who champions Superman's revival, using the power that he's completely against in the movie before this. His character makes no sense to me in this movie. Batman makes zero sense to me in this movie, and it undoes everything that we were all talking about positively with Ben Affleck and Batman, because he did fine in Batman vs Superman. I like that. I think that his character.
I'll be right back. Holly, sorry, go ahead.
Sure. I think the Batman in this role takes multiple steps back in terms of what his character stands for and what he does, because he doesn't stand for anything. He's just the guy who's just moving the plot forward, and I hate that. It just makes me so mad that they screwed up Batman in that way. There's so many things I hate about this movie, man. JD, why don't you say just two things while I cool down a little bit?
Man, I went into watching it with the hate watch approach, as you did too.
And I don't mean to. I wish we would have gone in
I know
I like this, but it was too late.
It was way too late. The damage had definitely been done. The pictures of that stash removal circulated. I mean, there were so many roadblocks to being objective about it, but the movie doesn't deserve it. It does not deserve your objectivity, because it's not going to challenge you at all. If you're a fanboy, you're going to take a lot of things out of this that are just nonsensical. For the reasons why you loved it. And what I can't get over is when you look at Marvel and the way that they've kind of just slowly developed everything over the years. This felt like it was a team up movie that conceptually started 2.5 years ago. It really did. And the 3 origin stories in the first act, like you said, the pacing, jumping back between all of those is so stupid.
It just felt so disorienting. Well, we got to get the Cyborg, and we got to get the Flash, and we're going to throw Flash's dad in here for no reason. I feel like
even these characters, as poorly as they were executed in this movie, would have been better served by us all getting to know them ahead of time, because it would have gotten all the bullshit out of the way. The discovering yourself aspect of this movie. And there's too many characters in this that just aren't solidified yet. And it's a mess. Except for that Superman part. Yeah, I mean, we all walked away from it saying, man, that was the best action.
It was awesome. It was really good. It was really well handled.
It was 15, 20 minutes? Man, not even 15, maybe.
No, maybe 10.
Maybe 10.
5, 10.
10 minutes, yeah.
Way too brief.
I wish it was more, but
should have been the whole fucking movie, man.
It should have been the whole movie, Again, they're trying to stuff 4 arcs into one movie, and it's just man, this should have been 2 movies right here, where Superman, you're trying to remind him of who he is, and he's not quite understanding that. What a great movie that would have been, a whole 1 hour situation there. We're never going to get that though.
We could have had Steppenwolf, who is fucking ugly as shit in this movie, by the way.
God, he looks weird. Yeah. He's like a cat. You described him like that, right?
Yeah, Catman.
Cat with horns, and armor.
Weird.
He should have been the one to revive Superman, and then be teach him who he is and stuff not who he is.
Well, but Superman going dark there was awesome when he was just totally unhinged. I mean, that would have been a cool team up moment.
Can I just say
against him?
Can I just say, when Superman gets resurrected, he has a mustache and beard. Why not just keep the mustache? It makes no sense to me why they were so gung ho on $40 million worth of mustache editing. It just, it makes me so mad.
Because a lot of the
they could have just been hey, it would have been easier to CG on a beard, I think, than it would have been to CG off that mustache.
Yeah. It's incredibly stupid.
Wasn't that whole opening sequence a reshoot? though.
It was,
Yeah.
and it looked really cheap to me.
Found footage thing, yeah.
Oh, the found footage, yes. And then there's a scene right after that with Batman on a rooftop that looked like a TV set to me.
Right.
It looked
and I think that's
horrible.
probably the main reason. If they weren't trying to force that into the beginning of the movie, maybe they could have gotten away with leaving his mustache on and worked around it somehow. But I don't know. Mission Impossible 6 better earn it. Earn it.
That better be the most posh mustache in the entire world. Better be $30 million worth of facial hair. That's all I'm saying. I just, man, I could pile onto this movie all day. I really didn't like it. I really didn't like Man of Steel. I thought Batman vs Superman was just twice as bad. And now that I'm like, man, somehow they managed to make a movie way worse than Batman vs Superman. And it's just like, they're going in a downward spiral right now. Wonder Woman is a total lightning in a bottle situation. We saw how Suicide Squad went down. We can kind of assume how Aquaman's going to go down at this point. Are any of you guys excited for Aquaman right now after seeing this movie?
Not objectively. I mean, yeah.
Curious, maybe. Sure.
I'm going to follow it. If the trailer's good, I might take it up a notch.
Yeah, James Wan could
would
do
it
something
be,
interesting with it. And
you'd hope.
And Jason Momoa's material in Justice League is just fucking weak. It's just
really
not
bad.
good.
Like, this is his first entry to this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. My man. I hate that meme. I hate that fucking part.
I hate it so much.
You're really walking around as a bat. That's cool. No, it's not. Like, it wasn't that line. All of this whole dialogue exchange, not cool. And can I just say, they bring up this Flash brunch joke too many times in this movie. It makes me so fucking angry. They set up this brunch joke in like the first act of the movie, and then it's like the very last thing that's said in the movie, and I want to stab somebody. It's so bad.
That was a Joss Whedon add-in because you could tell that's where the reshoot shit was jarring to me, because he's in the middle of a conversation that we've seen from the trailers with Bruce Wayne. And then suddenly the lighting changes, his fucking hair changes, and he's talking about fucking brunch. Like, what the fuck is happening right now? It's the same
really
scene.
bad. It's a really bad line.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's like, you stand on... your joke's bad. Joke's bad.
Joke's
you wasted a whole reshoot on this, so that's bad.
And I like how their attempt at camaraderie or humor at the end with Superman is, if you lose in a race against me, you're off the team. It's hilarious. It's really funny.
Super funny. Yeah,
it's really
very funny.
Made me laugh.
Oh, and then I'll tell you what, like when I was sitting there, and one thing that took me for a loop, and maybe that's what the movie was supposed to do, when Aquaman starts spilling his beans, you don't realize like the lasso of truth is around him or whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, this is really stupid, and this is stuff that like Aquaman would never say. And then you're like, oh, okay, it's the lasso of truth. But I'm like, oh, but that scene was still really stupid. Like that it wasn't funny to me at all. Like, oh, okay, the lasso was around them, still dumb.
And
like
then,
I don't know.
Then like an asshole bully, he goes up to the weakest person there, the Flash, and
he goes,
if you tell anybody, I'll kill you. I'll knife you with my wiener. He doesn't say
piranha.
That.
I'll kill you with piranha or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll tell the piranhas to eat you if you're near the water. Don't go near the water. Or you'll die.
Seems like a pretty easy fix. Never go near water again.
Yeah. Well, guess I'm not swimming. I'm cool in swimming pools, right? Okay, cool. Well, then we're fine. All right. So Justice League moves on. No, I'm just kidding. But the first quarterfinal matchup, it's kind of another quick vote situation. We have Beauty and the Beast versus Logan, which is clearly very similar titles, both bloody as hell. So we could do a quick vote here, right? I mean, we're not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beauty and the Beast, right? Is that what we're leaning?
Yeah.
Oh my god! I swear to fucking god.
Claws on both characters, they.
Yep.
They're both beasts.
Actually, you know what? Can we just push this? Let's just push this round. I just wanted to play the push it thing. So
can't hear it.
I'm first in this one, and then I'm just gonna go Logan. So JD, where do you vote?
Oh, Logan.
Logan. Kyle, where do you vote?
I'm with Logan as well.
Yes.
No, Logan, I'm so Logan. I'm Loganing all over you.
Loganing, it's a verb.
Oh man, Logan's so great. Beauty and the Beast is like we were saying, it's kind of enjoyable. Emma Watson's auto-tuning is just to me it's
lost me from Jump Street.
To my viewing experience. It makes it tough to watch.
All day today I had people go, nuh-uh. Yeah.
No, what? That it's not auto-tuned or that it's not
no,
bad?
that was her. No, it wasn't. That's why I immediately go, before you even share videos with me of her singing, like, in other situations, just read an article. Like, the information's out there. I'm not trying to debate about it.
Yeah.
She had a auto-tune. Everyone was like, no, that was really her.
No, it wasn't. Sorry.
No, it wasn't.
I mean, it was probably her, but auto-tune
it was
still
her, but
was in
auto-tune
play.
sound like that, yeah.
Like, anybody can be auto-tuned. Like, it's fucking stupid to be like, that was her. Yeah, I know it was her, but it was auto-tuned to fucking
She didn't
shit.
sound like T-Pain to me, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what people are comparing it to. I'm like, do you know what? Okay, pitch correction. There, boom. Pitch correction. That's
yeah,
what it is.
okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Tune. Okay, fuck it. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
That like hindered my enjoyment of it. And then the random song, or I think they added 2 songs that were like just there just to be up for Oscar contention.
Because I remember her singing about Paris while in Paris, and I was like, definitely don't remember this.
I was looking at the songs that qualified for Best Original Songs at the Oscar, and there were 2 from Beauty and the Beast. So I think that 2 of them are brand new, at least 2 of them, and both are a waste of time. So they added nothing to my experience. But Beauty and the Beast is fine, though. I mean, you'll enjoy your time with it, I guess.
Yeah. I had a lot of bouts of nostalgia while watching it because it's literally the same movie as the animated movie.
Yeah.
Luke Evans is an awesome Gaston.
He's great.
Josh Gad is an awesome LaFoe.
Yeah, exactly.
Steals the show for me. What else is good about that movie?
But
Nothing
he's gay,
really. That's
Kyle. Oh, boy.
And like, he's not even they did another scene where like they dress like the lady cabinet dresses up like the 3 Musketeers and like one of them likes it. I thought that was the gay part, and I'm like, but that wasn't Josh Gad. So we were mad at like the subliminalness of Josh Gad when this overtly gay character like.
There's a part where he dances with another dude, and that's it. That's all that movie theaters were offended over. Like, quote unquote, Christian movie theaters were offended because he danced with another dude at the end of the movie. It's so
that's a shame. I hate it when people dance with people of their same gender. It's just the worst.
Is my point, and like not. I don't mean. I mean that in the true term of like what you have homosexuality or whatever. Like, there's a guy who literally gets forced cross-dressed at the end. And he smiles and he kind of likes it, and the cabinet goes, "Be free," or whatever. And it's like, I thought that was the big gay moment or whatever, because that's literally what that is. And everyone was mad about Josh. I don't know. It's just stupid what people get mad about. So.
Yep, at 100% is. You're not wrong. So Logan moves up. Logan. Fucking piece of shit. All right. So next round is, oh god, it's another quick vote situation. So we have Dunkirk versus Guardians 2. None of us hate Guardians 2. Like, none of us do.
No, not at all.
Odd, but good Marvel movie.
Yes, but Dunkirk is so head and shoulders above it that we should do a quick vote.
Yeah, I think so too, because Dunkirk is like a flawless war movie.
Yeah, exactly. So Kyle, you're first. What are you going to vote for here?
Fun jerk.
Okay, cool. I'm voting for Kirk Dunn, and JD is
I've run out of ways to jumble that title around.
1, 2, 3, 4,
yeah, I played the fifth.
Right.
Yeah, we're going Dunkirk.
Dunkirk moves on. I guess I really didn't need any ammunition against Guardians, but yeah, there was some of the stuff in the middle that I alluded to earlier was what I was talking about in terms of the. I felt like it was the movie was wandering a little bit, where Chris Pratt, I know the character's name, Peter Quill,
Star-Lord,
goes to see his father, and they're on his planet, kind of walking around and talking. And I'm like, is there a plot to this movie? Like, I just kind of like forgot that there were things going on, or things were supposed to be going on. I mean, I guess the only other thing that was happening simultaneously was Rocket getting jailed with Yondu, which was a very entertaining arc and stuff, and it led to that great prison break sequence. But yeah, all that middle stuff, where especially the Drax repeating his ugly jokes too.
Oh man,
it's tough. It's tough to stomach some of that, like on repeat viewings. I'm like, fucking shut up, dude. Like, it's just not even funny anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you could have used like 8 less of those jokes.
Yeah.
And that's not an exaggeration. Like, they do it that many times.
And then when he
still
does
leave about 40 of those jokes.
he does the penis thing to Ego, and I'm kind of like, is that Is that really the writing that James Gunn settled on? Was like, I got it, dick joke right here. You have a penis, surely.
I mean, unfortunately, that's a little bit of James Gunn for sure. If you have never seen his miniseries PG Porn,
no,
please do yourself a favor and watch that entire series.
Oh, okay.
PG Porn. James Gunn did it. It's amazing. YouTube, go watch it literally after we're done with this.
Literally, I'll stop whatever I was in the middle of. I think it was just Blade Runner 2049 again.
Who cares about that? You want to watch PG porn, and it's lit. And what you think it is, yes, that's what it is.
Oh, okay, cool. Disney fucking a kid. All right, or Mickey Mouse. That's what I mean. Mickey Mouse fucking a kid. Oh boy. All right, so Dunkirk moves on. Guardians is still a fun watch. I just had to levy my criticism so people weren't like, "What was he complaining about?" Well, what's his problem? And then the reveal happens like way too quickly to where like we kind of. I mean, you do have to watch the movie again to appreciate like the reasons Ego was the way he was. Because the first time you watch it, you're like, "The fuck is that?" Like he's explaining so much that you just get lost. It's like a minute's worth is like all of his exposition. Like,
well, and my first complaint was, wait, so his big entire plan was to make more of himself? That's stupid. And I was
right.
like, oh, his name is Ego.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, he's into himself. Okay, yeah. I'm stupid, okay. Or maybe it's just too obvious and I didn't like that. But, you know, I like it sank in the second time. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, all right. I get it.
So Dunkirk. Woo! Dunkirk moves on.
Yeah.
So the next round is Thor Ragnarok versus Star Wars The Last Jedi.
Wow.
I mean...
Probably the two most fun experiences I've had in the theaters all year.
Yep. Same here. I feel like we shouldn't quick vote so Last Jedi haters aren't up our asses with this round.
Fuck those guys.
I know, fuck them.
Gals. Fuck those people.
Fuck those people.
Fuck those Zims and Zers. I don't give a shit.
Should we quick vote? I mean, I love Thor.
I love Thor too, but let's quick vote this or I'm going to get mad.
All right, cool. So JD, you're first.
Oh, it's Star Wars for me, for sure.
Okay, Kyle.
It's Last Jedi.
Oh, okay. I was going to go Thor, but, fuck you guys. So Last Jedi moves on, and Thor is such a fucking good time in the theaters, dude. Like,
Thor is awesome.
It is so goddamn fun. It is the funniest Marvel movie, and it's funny to me when people are like, I mean, there's only one guy I follow on Twitter that said this. He was like, y'all know Homecoming came out this year, right? And I'm like, yeah, it still wasn't the funniest movie compared to fucking Thor Ragnarok. Like it,
right?
Like honestly, like they were going. It's just Taika Waititi's humor is just going for broke comedy, and Homecoming had some funny moments in it, I guess. It wasn't really. I don't think Homecoming was going for the laughs as hard as Ragnarok was.
No, and Ragnarok wasn't going for the super heartfelt like coming of age moments either. So like the Loki shit felt like inauthentic because we know Loki. You know what I mean?
We've already
been there and done that.
He's gonna turn in Infinity War. Let's be honest.
Well, and that movie has so much personality, I was able to turn my entire household into like a Watiti fan like club now, like I got everyone here hated like What We Do in the Shadows at first, and I was like, hey, you guys go back and watch that movie, let's go watch it together, and they're like, oh, I really like that. So it's like an entrance into kind of his sense of humor. So it kind of opens up a whole catalog of movies for you to go back and watch. And now they've all watched Hunt for the Wilder People, and I haven't even seen that movie yet. So it's just
Holy shit.
I've created a bunch of monsters
so
here.
Good.
I can't wait. It's on my list this weekend because it's on Hulu. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. It is. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Very, very excited. Love that guy a lot. Really wish that they would give him more movies. Anything. I'd take a Star Wars movie with him. I don't care. Anything at this point. Right. I think that movie, his name is being pitched around a lot for Akira right now. And after watching that movie, like Ragnarok, there are a lot of anime-like sensibilities in that movie. And I think he would have a really good eye for it. If we had to make an American Akira movie. If you want me on record, I say no, we don't, and don't do it. But if his name's being thrown around, like that's one way to get me somewhat interested in the project.
Yeah.
So.
It still is WB, and who knows with those fucking people.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, never mind. Oh God, that came.
It's
A
so-
lot of truths came
that's
crashing down
brilliant.
that statement.
Yeah, Ragnarok. If you're wondering Taika Waititi, like who he is or what his humor is, it's all in Korg. Like it's all Korg, right? The Rock guy.
Korg. Yeah.
Yeah. So he voices, well, and he does motion capture for Korg, and all of that shit is like just straight up his sensibility in terms of his humor and his comedy.
We will rebuild.
Yeah, we will rebuild. All the hey man, you want to get on the ship and all that stuff. It is just
Cool.
It's good.
and he always like he loves doing the type of comedy where it's like things juxtaposing each other. Where it's like in this specific example, Korg is like a giant rock dude who he isn't as big as Hulk or anything, but he is pretty big, and he has this timid little like New Zealand accent voice, and it's just that's like those juxtaposed with each other already adds to the comedy of what's happening.
Right.
It's so good. Thor's so funny. You know what? I'm changing my vote. Last Jedi. You know what? Fuck that movie. That movie can go fuck itself. Up its
Garbage.
Up its lightsabered, snooty ass, nonsensical. Luke. That's not my Luke. That's all I know.
You know what, man? It's not even Hamill's Luke because that's what he said exactly.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna take that out of context.
His
and
words
die.
were
I'm gonna die on
verbatim
that hill.
were, "I wish I never starred in that movie. What a piece of shit." That was what he said.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
That's what
I was
his
there.
words, not mine.
He said that. He said it.
You check his Twitter. I don't give a shit. Last Jedi moves on, and this matchup is so good. It's destiny, guys. It's Get Out versus It. Oh, this is so
Whoa.
good.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, one movie has the edge here, but you know, whatever. That's fine. Do we want to discuss this? I think.
We can discuss it, but I
Yeah.
think I've got my answer for sure.
Okay. I'm going first in this round, and I'm definitely voting for Get Out. I think it is. I think it is a great blockbuster. Like it's. I mean, even better than a lot of the Marvel movies that we've already discussed. It might be better than I don't know, man. That's fucking tough to analyze at this point.
It really is. I'll tell you what. I think like the fan casting is just as cool as the movie is.
Yeah, that's been a lot of
fan
fun.
casting all year has been
Like
awesome.
even I think both of them, Jessica Chastain and Idris Elba, who were just in Molly's Game together, which is goddamn amazing, and I'm so mad it's not my 10 right now. They were both like, yeah, we're open to coming to.
yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, we'll do
that.
part 2. Just fucking sign us up.
Yeah, fucking sign them on.
Yeah. And what's crazy about the first one is that they couldn't. I mean, they had this kind of unproven director who did Mama before with Jessica Chastain. So he's worked with her. He can get her on board.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even know there was a connection there.
And
I never wanted to see Mama because it looked like a gigantic piece of turd. So
It got like good reviews, so I was.
I
a
did, but
little
I
curious
still
to
wasn't
see it.
fooled by it. I was
Yeah.
like, man, so did Paranormal Activities. I don't
Right.
think I'm gonna. I don't know.
I think I'm gonna go fuck off on this one. But yeah, they didn't really have the resources to get giant stars in this movie, especially because it's all kids, and you want good kid actors, not star kid actors.
And they got good kid actors.
And
I mean, they got
did,
fucking
yeah.
great actors.
Yeah, they got. I mean, of course, you have to get one of the kids from Stranger Things, but you can't get all kids from Stranger Things, or else it's
No.
just Stranger Things with a clown.
Even though, like, you could literally take out everybody from that cast and put Stranger Things kids in there.
But man, this really translated well to the Stranger Things crowd, I think. This really captured exactly what Stranger Things goes for, except it's in the 90s this time. And I love by the way, I love like the random shout outs to New Kids on the Block. Because I was that, like, you can pretty much pick a kid and that's who you identify with in this movie. I was that fat kid, you know, like,
Yeah.
who listened to New Kids on the Block. So that was me. I guess I wasn't fat at that age, but whatever, it's fine. And there's so many great scenes, like that bathroom scene with the redhead girl is
Oh yeah, that was creepy.
Beverly, so fucking well shot and everything. Man. And
Oh yeah,
just
I mean, it's
everything
gonna go
about
down
this
as
movie.
one of those like iconic shots. I think. I mean, I
Yeah.
think like it's just like it's super.
Yeah, when
it's
it finished,
super
I
cool,
was
man.
like, well, that's gonna be historic. Like, it's just a scene you're gonna cite when you talk about great
Yeah,
new age
that
horror
Carrie,
movies.
like it goes down in like the Carrie like books
Yeah.
and stuff like that. It's that good.
Yeah, just everything about the movie is really good. Like the build up from the kids, I cared about all their individual stories. The movie made me care about that, which was interesting because Justice League couldn't do that shit for me. You know, like
Yeah, like I cared about kids more than I did my favorite characters in capes.
Right.
How?
But they
you
made
already
you-
had an
they
in.
separated
One
them.
foot was already in the door, you know?
Right. They separated almost all of them. Like 3 of them were already friends or whatever. But
Yeah.
they showed how they all came together for this specific cause. And I haven't even talked about Bill Skarsgård and how fucking good he is as this clown, dude. That kid is ridiculously talented.
Yeah.
If I ever saw him on a street, I'd probably turn and run away, though. He's a little creepy little fucker.
I really hope he doesn't get not typecasted, but I hope this doesn't ruin his career.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
You know what's cool about him too is that he's the only one that can really do the smile. Like he has a natural smile where like his bottom lip comes out and it looks really fucking creepy. Like he can do that himself, and he added that to the clown. Nobody else can really do that except for him.
Yeah.
So that's what's interesting is like that's a quirk for this character.
And when he can really cross his eyes too, or separate them so they go in different directions. That's not CG. He really did that.
He also severs people's arms and waves at you with them.
Well, he can really. Yeah, he really did that. Yeah.
Skills included.
Very method.
Oh yeah, the rock fight was really good.
That's my favorite part in the movie because that's happened. I mean, where you're just getting bullied and all of a sudden that all comes down to that, throwing bricks at each other or whatever you get your hands on.
The movie felt a lot like Stand By Me to me. At least like the rapport of the kids and the fact that they're all on bikes just wandering around to the next location or whatever. It's very Stand By Me, and that's where people might just go, "Oh, that's Stranger Things." And I mean, honestly, they're borrowing all of this from earlier stuff.
That's all from
it's Stand By Me, which bled into E.T., which bled into other stuff. You know, like it's a lot of things combined into one. But yeah, it does that really well. And it's as horrifying as I remember the miniseries being when I was a kid. You know, if I were a kid and I saw this version of it, I would never sleep. I
can't believe they chomp off a kid's arm in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, they really went for it with that one.
Yeah.
They definitely
but that's
go
more,
R.
I mean, in line with the book.
Yep.
So it's not going to complain about that.
Yeah, the miniseries, the miniseries couldn't. I mean, it's a TV show, so they couldn't really do an R-rated thing like they did. They went full R in this movie, and they even added like a psychopath killer kid in it. And I don't remember him being in the TV miniseries, but
that worked for me though.
It really worked for me. Yeah. But that was like just another element of it that's fucking terrifying, and kids should not see this movie at all. No. I should not have seen the TV miniseries at all. That terrified the fuck out of me. Made me go, I'm never going into a library. And then this movie managed to recreate
never did.
And
that.
guess what, kids? He never went into a library.
It's true. I still don't read to this day. But yeah, Get Out is just a. I mean, it's completely original. It's straight from Jordan Peele's mind. So it's got to get points for that, and its execution, even from the opening scene where the camera's just doing just literally twirling around this character as a car's following him, and it's like it's just this like long kind of tracking shot. And it's such a great opener to it, and from the get-go, you're like, we're watching something a little different here. Like this is There's something off about this.
When you finish it and you get the big reveal at the end, which we'll save, we won't talk about that or whatever, and then you go back and rewatch the movie, completely different movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're picking out that's
subtext.
All these little subtext and little things are there. These subtleties are there where you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
How did I not see this before or whatever?
And you think that don't get me wrong, there's definitely racism in the fucking movie, and that's what the movie's all about, but you just think that these people at the party are being ignorant and fucking nice racists, when they're asking all these questions, but they genuinely want to know these things, these statistics about him, because they're gonna try and buy his body from him.
My husband loves Tiger Woods. Cool.
And man, there's another thing I wanted to mention too. The thing with the cop, that was some really smart writing too.
Really smart.
Really, really smart. Where it seems like she's defending him, but I mean, Jordan Peele knew obviously in advance, knowing where the movie was going to go and end. That But
it does seem like a genuine moment where you're like, oh wow, right. She's totally pointing out kind of something that may be a little racist right now, and then in hindsight
or whatever.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, it's a more sinister motive behind that scene. God damn it, that's so fucking good, that movie. This semifinals are going to be really tough for me. Really,
yeah,
really
whoever
tough
shared that things you didn't know Q&A, JD, was that you?
Yeah,
it was me because
Amazing.
I didn't know half that shit.
Illuminating that video.
I love how he read a theory that was really, really involved about something so completely like.
Wasn't it the one about the TSA agent that's being like a machination of his imagination? Is it that one?
Yeah, it all takes no. He shot that shit down, but
Yeah.
there was one where it was like. Maybe was this a reference to the reference like a poem or some shit like that? I don't even remember, dude. But it was like 5 layers deep of references to something, and Jordan was like, "Yes, I totally meant to do that."
That's
on
exactly
purpose.
what that meant.
Exactly what that meant.
Nice catch.
He's not trying to be that deep, everybody. He's, but you do have to put some thought into what he puts into a script. He does a lot of show and not tell, which is what the best movies do. In my opinion, and they of course they do it well. That's what almost the entirety of Blade Runner 2049 is. It's like, do they talk in this movie?
No, you're just supposed to figure it out somehow.
Figure it out. Just look at it.
And people hate that. They're like, "Oh, you want me to think?" No thanks. Not for 2 hours and 45 minutes. No, thank you.
All right. So the next, the first semifinal matchup is Logan versus Dunkirk.
Oh.
So this is where things kind of get a little hard, but if we weren't so firmly set in our own top 10s, which we are. Spoilers for everybody. We already made our top 10s and everything. I mean, at least I'm pretty much done. I don't really have to see anything else. I don't think anything else will make my list.
Got like 1 or 2 more contenders for me, but
I have like 3 and 1 I'll never get to. 2 I will though.
Okay.
Damn it, that Blade will be immortal.
I have like 6. I'm
It'd be
never
easier
gonna
just
see.
to have.
You know what? I take it. You know what? I really want to see Transformers last night. So
I'm so glad it didn't make the list. I
know.
thought that.
Thank you, America.
Transformers. I didn't even think Transformers came out this year because it didn't make the list. I was like, sure, those movies make the list every year.
They do, right?
No, not this year. No, thank you. And everyone was like, nah, we're fucking over this.
It did make 22, but above it are like better movies. So I was like, I have to applaud the audiences for a little bit on that one because Split ended up being higher. War for the Planet of the Apes, which people were like, oh, that didn't make a lot. It was still in the top 20. Cars 3, Coco. I haven't seen Cars 3. Coco, which is good. Kong Skull Island is fun. So, like, better movies made it above Last Night. I don't fucking know why people give Last Night Transformers their money anymore.
I don't either.
Whatever. Let's talk about 2 great movies. Logan and Dunkirk. I guess at semifinals we shouldn't quick vote anymore. So let's talk about Kyle. Kyle, where are you going to vote on this one? Let's take it.
Logan's like a really, really fun movie.
Yeah.
And it's meaningful too. And you'll cry. If you don't, you're a liar.
Yep.
You
might be
or just don't feel things. And it's cool. There's a lot of payoff in that movie. It's just a good movie. But Dunkirk is like it's a near flawless movie to me. Like it's so crazy how like perfect that movie is. And there are things that you won't even notice about that movie. Like Jeff, you had to point out like the big thing to me. You don't ever see enemy forces in this movie ever, like on foot forces, and I'm like, no, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, like it was a very back. Oh my God, I can't believe they just bamboozled me like that.
Right.
But it's never not intense. It's one of the most intense war movies you're gonna watch. It's just really, really, really good. It's claustrophobic in a lot of ways. I just love it. It's Christopher Nolan at his best, in a genre that he hasn't done yet. And that's what he does. He just bleeds into another genre, and he's just like, yeah, I'm going to do this, and I'll be the standard now for this genre. Good luck, everybody. And then next year, he's going to go into sci-fi or whatever he's going to do next. I don't know what he's going to do. He's going to make a movie about pianos. I have no fucking clue.
Yeah, he's going to do a Paul Thomas Anderson type movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Just slow burn. People staring at each other.
Making perfume. I don't know. So we'll see. What is that movie? The Phantom Thread? Is that out here?
It comes out in January, I think, everywhere.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I don't have. That's good. Yeah.
I'm so.
It's
hyped
so
to see
weird
that
because
movie
I really
now.
want to see that movie, but at the same time, I'm like, God, what a boring ass thing for a movie to be about.
Yeah,
Like,
I know. It's kind of It's fucking Paul Thomas Anderson for you, dude. Like I mean, The Master intrigued me because if it didn't have the Scientology parallels, I would be like, this movie's gonna bore the shit out of me.
Yeah.
But it's always the acting, dude. The acting and the writing always ends up
what brings
captivating
it in.
you.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with like what the movie's about. Like
Yeah.
you're like when I'm watching like There Will Be Blood, I'm like, that's the best oil tycoon movie ever. Like
Yeah,
that's
it's
not
such a boring
how you think
topic.
about that movie. Yeah.
So boring, that topic.
It's never about like you're never watching those movies
Yeah.
for the setting.
It's never what the movie's about with him, ever.
Exactly.
It's always what it represents.
Tell you what, it's
Yeah.
gonna be Daniel Day-Lewis acting his fucking ass off for 2.5 hours. Sure.
This is my farewell. I'm fucking acting my ass off in this. You can't stop me.
It's literally gonna fall off in the third act.
Probably.
Yeah.
He turns into an alien and shit.
I'm going to Dunkirk.
Going Dunkirk. All right, I'm
Kirk
next,
for me.
and I'm I would hate to shut out JD. I'm sure he would have voted Dunkirk anyway, but Dunkirk for me is where I'm going, and I'm not going to Dunkirk. I'm sorry, I should clarify. This is the best Dunkirk movie of 2017, and there were 3 fucking Dunkirk movies.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well,
insane.
One of them was Darkest Hour, which was about the Churchill side. This was the Gary Oldman movie where he plays Churchill, and he does it phenomenally, and the writing is really, really good. Like, the writing is just, man, it kind of makes you stop in your tracks and kind of just laugh at how clever lines are. Kind of like Wind River does, where you're like, that was a good line. Like, you just can't stop. You can't help yourself. Or 3 Billboards. You're like, that was good. What you just said is good. But in terms of like the story, it's just not a whole lot happening. And the Dunkirk aspect is kind of an afterthought. Like, it's more about people accepting him as in a leadership role. And by the way, there's this Dunkirk thing going on. So it's kind of an afterthought. And then in the other one is called Their Finest, and it's about a female screenwriter. I don't know if she's like one of the first or whatever, but she helped write war movies, like educational war movies for people, kind of propaganda, more or less, for the UK, and to try and recruit people and stuff. And they ended up writing a full-length movie about Dunkirk, and it kind of romanticized this one soldier's story about Dunkirk. Like, he totally made it up or whatever to make himself sound like more of a hero, but they were like, let's write it anyway, it's going to sell. And it did. And the movie was like, okay, it just kind of drags for me. It's a lot of people like it more than I do that have seen it. Can't say I'd recommend it, but yeah, this is the best Dunkirk movie by far. It takes place at Dunkirk the entire fucking time. It's not some background noise, oh, we should really rescue those soldiers. It's not that, and the scope of it is just unbelievable, how Nolan tackled it. And I felt like, the way he shot it, it's almost like it's intended to put us there with everybody. Just the way the camera pans around on the beach the first time the soldier walks out to it, and the camera's just doing a sweep of the beach, and you're like, how many fucking people are on this beach, man? And how far away he is, you just kind of get the perception like that you're there with the soldier, like looking at everything and wanting to get the fuck out of there. And it's kind of crazy that you describe it as claustrophobic because, really the plane and the boat are like the only claustrophobic spaces, but a beach should be a wider, it's kind of a wider space, but he does make it feel claustrophobic because they can't go anywhere else. And Nazis are Nazis, man. They're fucking, just the thought of them is all he really needed to show you. Like, the thought and the sounds of them are all he really needed to show you to like kind of terrify you into this movie. Oh my god, that's so fucking good how he does that. The very beginning of the movie, when the soldier's running away and he's like trying to seek, shelter or whatever the fuck. He's trying to make it to Dunkirk, basically the beach.
Right.
When he's just getting like his friends are just getting shot at, like, and you don't see who's shooting him at all. Bodies are just falling, and from there it's kind of like, this is gonna be a very, very different type of movie. And it fucking was, man. And the lack of character stories or whatever. Like, back in my day, I was a teacher. That might have hurt people, or not hurt, but kind of shied people away from thinking it was as amazing as we do. But I think that was a ballsy move because, they're soldiers. They have one goal. That's what matters. And it fucking succeeded on, like, every level that Nolan was trying to achieve it.
Every single trope is completely flipped on its head in this movie.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Yep.
You know, you're not gonna find a single moment where you're like, oh yeah, this is like Letters to Iwo Jima, or you know, like
Right.
it's never gonna be like that.
This is Flags of Our Fathers by Christopher
Yeah,
Nolan.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Is this just Pearl Harbor with Ben Affleck all over again?
The only people that he gave a story to were the civilians because they do need their motives explained. Like it's a suicide mission for these people.
Right. Yeah, no, you're right.
You know, you can't just have them go in there and just be like, they're just doing the right thing. Like, they kind of need some backstory to
But it's
feed
not
that.
beaten over the head with you.
No.
But by like when things happen the way they happen, you're already invested in these characters. You're like, oh fuck, you
Yeah.
know? Like, it's
So
cool.
sad.
You know, Chris Nolan does a really good job of. There's not a lot of talking in this movie, so like
No.
a constant problem that people have with Nolan is very exposition heavy. There's gonna be one guy going, "Listen, this is how it is."
Yeah.
So you go one, you know, like there's none of that in this movie. There, you
No.
know, like and again, talking about like subverting expectations, he subverts his own tropes and expectations of his own type of style and stuff like that.
Yep.
It's the most un-Nolan movie ever, yet it's the most Nolan movie ever. It's,
Yeah, I mean, without
crazy.
Hans Zimmer to fill that gap with no dialogue, I mean that was the emotional core of the movie for me. Was
Totally.
the
Absolutely.
score behind it? I mean,
Yeah,
like,
he-
They're
acted as a dialogue
it's
in a lot of ways.
continuously there. Like it's always present. It's always moving the mood and the tone forward of the entire movie. It's very, very important.
I hate
Very.
to, I hate to give spoilers on Dunkirk, but, you know, they got evacuated. I don't know if everybody knew
it's a
that.
true story. So
yeah, read a fucking history book.
I don't know if everybody knew
Seriously.
that. But,
spoilers. 71
but
years
there is
later.
a part when the clock, Hans Zimmer's recurring ticking theme, finally ceases, and that's when Kenneth Branagh sees the boats, and he's like,
hope.
"Oh, it's home." And then the score, actual
chills.
strings come in, and it's like a resolving melody, you know, and it's. Yeah, that moment gave me chills. Almost got me tearing up in the theater when I saw it the first time. Especially seeing so many like different age ranges in my theater. Like we had, I mean, I had a ton of people that I could just tell they were history buffs. They were there for the history, and like much older people, like my grandparents' age and stuff, there to just get lost in the history of it. And I mean, I could tell that they were just getting emotional watching that part too. Like. It's a fucking great movie, dude. And I love the ending of Tom Hardy sacrificing himself for the to the Nazis, more or less. Because I mean, his alternative is killing himself, but that's not that's not their way. That's something the Nazis. That's something fucking Hitler does, you know.
Right.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
So. I don't know. I like that ending, even if people are like, "Well, he could have ran or something," and I'm just kind of like, how about fuck you?
Ran where? He's an enemy.
Yeah,
okay,
you're.
shut up. That's
There's
stupid.
nowhere to go.
There's
That's
nowhere
really
to go.
stupid.
He's gonna swim
He
the
has
channel.
enemies in one direction and sea in the other, and he
Yeah.
has a down plane, no ammunition. Okay, all right. That's
Yeah,
fine.
there's like no gas at all.
I forget that we're just stupid and I have to get
Really,
over it.
really smart of them to have the gauge go, the fuel gauge go out, and he's like marking the time. Okay, what time is it? Here's how much fuel I have, because they do fly. That's the thing with this movie too. It's one of the most accurate war movies because that's the thing. That's accurate as fuck. Is like they fly for like an hour, like max, like those planes. So it made sense that he ran out of gas when he did. The only thing that doesn't I can't wrap my head around timeline wise is like when days start and end for the mole part of the story, which is like the beach area. Because that allegedly takes place over a week, and I'm kind of like,
Right.
when do days end and begin?
Well,
I saw.
I
like,
don't
2
think
days.
we see the whole week. I think
No.
it means the event. So the total evacuation process started and lasted a week.
Oh,
and then
okay.
the process of the boats from the other side
That
of the
was
pond,
one day, yeah.
that took a day, and then everything you see in the air is an hour.
Right. But it
So
seemed
you
like at
see the full scope of the boat in
Yeah.
the air, but the scope of the whole operation on the mole took place over a week. You don't see all of it.
that's kind of
Because you only see about maybe 72 hours worth of time. I think you see there's a couple different scenes at night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there are a
'cause
couple.
there's
There's one in the
you
boat.
see 2 full days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you get about 3 days worth of the mole.
At least
That-
following
that's how
them.
I rationed.
Yeah, at least following those main kids. Which
Right.
they are. They're fucking kids, and that's why you should
Yeah.
care about them. You don't need to.
Yep.
Well, back home, I hit on girls. Like, if you knew their story, you would either hate them or love. Like, it would just be this false love. You just need to care about their fucking journey, dude, because it's about more than these kids. I mean, they represent the everyday soldier that's trying to just survive through the war. God damn it, it's so good.
Great.
It's so good. Dunkirk moves to the finals. God damn it.
Hell yes.
I'm pretty sure
man, I'm
JD
pissed
didn't
off.
end up voting, but I'm pretty sure you would have gone with Dunkirk anyway.
No, only my favorite movie of the year so far. I mean, whatever.
Oh my God,
Nope.
Really? Even after everything?
It's my number one,
after
man.
everything we've been through. No, I'm just kidding.
Seriously, Jenny?
It's not like like in my top 5 or anything.
Yeah, I know.
Like
I mean, come
my
on.
top 3. So,
I don't think I'm ruining anybody's dreams with that choice.
So the next matchup is this is the one I'm dreading, is Get Out versus Last Jedi.
Fuck.
I'm fucking last in this round. Woo! Yes. Woo! As the fates would have
go
it.
First.
JD, you are first.
Son of a bitch.
And if you don't vote Get Out,
search
you're
your
racist.
feelings, JD.
Oh, I guess Ray's in Last Jedi. So if you don't vote for Last Jedi, you're sexist. So we're back in this conundrum again.
Okay, so we're back to the sexist, racist thing. Well, I'm single, so I think I got to appease the lady vote on this one. So, Jedi, what's up? Man, I really do think there's an objective argument to be had for Get Out, and it's not anything that hasn't been said already here. It's layered, it's rich, the symbolism and just what it stands for is unparalleled, and it's a totally original idea.
It is.
And it came out of nowhere for me. I don't think I watched it. No, I didn't see that one early on, but you talked about it early on, Jeff, and it took me a couple months to watch. But
I saw it in theaters like opening weekend because people would not stop buzzing about it. Yeah, it was heavy buzz surrounding that movie.
But man, I think what that movie does for its respective genre, because it's not really a horror movie. What do they describe it as? A social thriller?
Social thriller.
Get Out. Like I have a hard time explaining to people what Get Out is about without spoiling anything.
That's very true.
Yeah.
And to me, that's cool because it's groundbreaking. But in its own way, Star Wars is very, very groundbreaking for a universe that's well established, and it's putting it onto a totally new trajectory. So it's kind of serving the same point in that aspect. So I'm gonna go with Star Wars. Not really even by a slim margin. I just would understand if somebody felt differently and went with Get Out.
Yeah.
Because Star Wars is so polarizing. But
this is a debate for me. Like you mentioned, objectivity, so that's why it was really tough for me.
It is tough. Mm-hmm. But I just love Star Wars so much. So
yeah, that's true.
I mean,
I feel that. I feel that love. It reverberates through the microphone.
Oh, shut up.
Love, Murph.
I just feel the love, Murph.
It's the only quantifiable measurement. Okay.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. All right, sorry. That's my... I watched Punch Drunk Love, and I was like, I have to share Philip Seymour Hoffman telling Adam Sandler to shut up. As like my response for Last Jedi criticisms. Have you guys seen that movie in a while? Or?
Yeah, I not in a while. But I've seen it.
Oh, okay.
I was way too young to.
I was not. This is maybe like
movie.
3 or 4 years ago, but I wouldn't remember something specific like that. So
that scene is like, I mean, the entire movie is really about suppressed rage, more or less, and anxiety, and how they don't cooperate and stuff. There's a lot going on in that movie. But that scene, everything with Philip Seymour Hoffman is so fucking funny. It's just so that. And then there's a part later on when Adam Sandler goes to confront him and he still has the phone in his hand because he's that mad. And he's like, "Are we straight? Are we good?" And then Adam Sandler's walking out and Philip Seymour Hoffman comes like in the distance. You see him. He just goes, "That's right. Get out, fucking pervert." And Adam Sandler's like, "What'd I just say?" And he's like, "No, we're good." And he walks out. It's so funny, dude. But yeah, when he tells him to shut up like just 16 times on the phone, it's, oh my God, it kills me. I miss that dude, man. I miss Philip Seymour Hoffman in new movies. Like,
I know.
It's so goddamn sad.
Yeah.
Because he's in like every Paul Thomas Anderson movie that I watched over the last weekend, and I'm just like, oh wow, great. Yeah, I'm really sad now. This is great.
Yeah. Thanks.
Anyway, sorry for the sidetrack. Kyle, what's your vote for I think you're leaning towards Get Out. If
I mean, y'all keep on throwing around this word objectivity like it's supposed to sway me away from Star Wars, and I'm like, I don't think that's not the right way to go about that.
I didn't go that way, so
no, you didn't. Obviously, you brought it up, but then you were like, yeah, I'm gonna go right anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be Star Wars for me. Just not because it needs to love, but because God, people hate this movie, and I don't fucking get it. I walked out of that movie thinking that I was just like, That was one of like the coolest experiences I've had in the theater in a long time. Like, like that was like because like I didn't think it'd reach like Force Awakens status, just because like it's just the build up and so many years and all the expectations, and so by the time you're walking out of the Force Awakens, it's a feeling unlike anyone has ever felt before, because we've never had good Star Wars sequels. So
right.
This is just doing that again. So you're not quite capturing the same moment, but it was still like I walked out of that going, man, like I cannot believe that I had more fun than I thought I would in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a huge Star Wars guy. Like my hype was way out of the stratosphere on this one. So I don't know. It somehow was able to like meet all those expectations, and while not meeting any expectations, because I had like a million theories, and guess what? All of them were wrong.
Yeah,
100% of them.
I love that.
And guess who isn't mad? Me, because I'm not a butthurt little crybaby.
Yes.
I like that. That's called good writing. I was not able to infiltrate the mind of the writer to figure out what the outcome was. You know what I mean? Like it was
the root of all of this.
It was not a foreseeable outcome for anything. If you're out there and you haven't seen it yet, your theories are wrong. All of them. So I just love that. I love that about the whole entire movie, and I think that like the movie, the whole entire tone gets set in the very beginning of the movie, where you finish the scene with Luke receiving the lightsaber, and what he does like is a complete metaphor for the rest of the movie. It's just like, what you know about Star Wars, fucking throw it out.
Throw it out.
Throw it out. Like that's,
let a porg pick it up.
It ain't about that no more. So. I think in bold, like it's just super, super bold, in a series about cyclical natures and reoccurring themes, stuff like that. They're just like, nah. But it still has all that too. But at the same time, it just changes everything. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how to balance that. So yeah, it's gonna be Star Wars for me.
Okay. I honestly probably would have ended up voting Star Wars anyway. I was in my head. I was like, am I like before we recorded in the car? I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to vote for Get Out and be an asshole, thinking it was gonna be around that became earlier, but it didn't. Thank goodness. But yeah, like thinking on Last Jedi, it's just so fucking good. God damn it, it's so good. And people are, I hate saying your opinions are wrong. But I legitimately had an answer for every criticism that people have levied against me about the movie. And they just don't like my answer. Like it's just
they wanted it their way.
Yeah,
like that's the only thing. And like when people are like, "That's not what it is." Yeah, it is, man.
Yeah,
that's
it fucking
exactly
is.
What it is.
Because when I explain to you what it all means and what happens, you're just like, oh, I don't like that. Well, then that means you didn't get what you wanted. That's what that means.
It's the Finn and Rose stuff for me.
You're throwing a tantrum.
Keeps on going, oh, I hate that, and I'll explain to them like why it was that way and how it's the theme of the movie and how it feeds into the greater motif of the movie. Yeah. And they're like, no, man. And I'm like, no, I'm not offering you my opinion. That's what it is. Like I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm telling you what the themes and motifs are that are happening in the movie. It's not an opinion. That's an objective fact. And no, man. Okay, all right. Well, we're not having a conversation. It's fine. Why did I do this to myself?
Right. Oh man, and I love when you recently, was it today? You tried to talk about, or I guess yesterday, you tried to talk about Justice League and how you didn't like it, and people were like, "Yeah, that's how I felt about Last Jedi." And I'm like, "Oh, cool, unrelated."
Cool,
movie.
That's a completely unrelated. We're talking about Justice League right now, but thanks for trying to bring down a completely unrelated movie.
Just trying
for
to
no
trigger
reason.
you. And also defend the movie that is a piece of shit that they love. Sorry.
Yeah, right.
Sorry for calling it a piece of shit. And again.
No, it is.
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad, like, having any type of what I call a superiority complex where it's like my opinion is right and your movie's a piece of shit or whatever. But, I mean, Justice League is just, it's a documented mess.
It really is.
Yeah.
Just go back and read any article. I mean, Joss Whedon's been very open about how he had no control over the movie or any of the decisions or anything. Like,
there's very much.
You guys just fucking read something, man. Mm-hmm. Like, then don't read like DC fanboy newsletter. Like, read like real articles from like real people. So.
And that movie makes me so mad. And. And it's funny is like the people that don't like Justice League, that do like Justice League and whatever. I don't know. I point out the issues that were facts with the movie. Like the fact is, it was a movie made by committee, and The Last Jedi is more of like people just didn't like the writing. I mean, it's not. there were no issues in terms of the production with Last Jedi. Like, the only thing that happened for anybody to latch onto was Mark Hamill going, man, that's not where I envisioned Luke going.
Yeah, and everyone was like, see, he hates it.
Totally an innocent comment, and something that, I mean...
That's like, look, if I read the script for Last Jedi and I was Mark Hamill, for the first time, I'd be like, what the fuck? That's not Luke.
Right.
You know, like...
Me too. I read the EU, and what happens, guess what? Ain't what happens in the EU. So it's not my Luke either, but it's not my... God damn it, it's just so stupid.
It's not anybody's Luke anymore. It's really, this is a new thing, and people need to...
It's a new thing.
Just get over it. Anyway, Last Jedi's moving forward, but it's got a tough road ahead. What are we going to do? Last Jedi or Dunkirk?
Oh my god.
I go last on this one, right?
You're second.
Fuck.
I'm first.
Oh, good, I'm last. So hopefully my vote doesn't count at all or something.
I'm going to go with the last movie we talked about was Dunkirk, I think, before that, right?
There we go. I thought that was
Brother.
I was like, no.
They're just...
Was it? I'm just clarifying. I'm trying to clarify my memory. I don't remember. Dunkirk is a place I'd like to go someday.
No.
Just like elongating this decision. I'm gonna go ahead and vote for Dunkirk. I think in terms of like storytelling, I think both of these have. I mean, they're two completely different like storytellers in terms of writing, but they both have their value in that department. But in terms of the directing, I mean, Nolan just fucking slays it in Dunkirk. It's like. I mean, people have their issues with Interstellar and Dark Knight Rises or whatever. Interstellar was so incredibly well shot in terms of like all the space stuff. He used miniatures and stuff like that, and obviously green screen too. But all of that stuff was really incredible to see. But yeah, Dunkirk is just like, all right, cool. You want me to not be in these sci-fi futuristic worlds anymore? Fine, I will literally just go to the real beach and shoot real people. I don't mean shoot with a gun. Sorry, everybody. I didn't mean to trigger anybody. I said it again. I don't know.
Today's society.
That's terrible. Let me cue up the drum set so I can feel better about myself. And there we go. All right. But yeah, good. He's just like, yeah, let's literally cast all real people and not, DC this and CGI 18 billion people in this movie. They got like the most extras of movies like ever used, I think. I don't know if it's a record or whatever, but I'm pretty sure in today's day and age it was like a fuck ton of extras compared to a normal production.
But it was also that they were in the garb also. It wasn't that they're just like so far out, didn't matter what they were wearing. Like everyone was on the beach in garb with the replica
Right, you're not somebody in a stand like in the stadium or something where you can just kind of blend in wearing
exactly.
whatever.
It's not like shooting a football scene or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, and it's just, God damn it, the filmmaking on a directing and cinematography level, I think that's what gets the edge over Last Jedi. Because, I mean, and also there's no Leia Poppins moment in Dunkirk, so...
Okay, first off, spoilers. Second off, not as stupid as everyone wants to say it is.
It's not as stupid, but that picture I found was amazing.
That picture was golden. Yeah.
It was great. Yeah, everybody's firing on all cylinders on Last Jedi in terms of like I think the writing's great.
I think it is too.
I don't have as much of a problem as everybody else does with Leia Poppins, which I'm not trying to go into spoilers.
No, I don't think that spoils anything.
I think it was just another. It was really jarring for a lot of people, and I don't know. I think there were a few things that happened.
The one thing we were all waiting for.
Yeah,
since episode 6. That was really jarring for everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
So but, that's how I feel about that.
Yeah.
It's I think I understand where the hate is coming from. I don't understand how it's festered and blown up as big as it's gotten.
Right.
That's what I don't understand. Like, because there are some objective things to criticize about that movie, but like, why are you going to let that ruin it for you? Why are you going to consciously choose to let that ruin your favorite thing? Why? Just sit back and enjoy it.
I don't know.
Whatever.
Someone was like, well, I guess everyone's a critic now. And I'm like, well, I mean,
we are.
Some of us are. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't really like that argument.
So yes.
But, I don't stand behind that argument. But, I feel like I am a critical movie watcher, and maybe Star Wars. Yeah, I do have a little rose-tinted glasses on, but like, I don't think that's happening for this movie. I think that like, if it sucked, I would be very open about it. I would try to be at least. Maybe I would hesitate and go, guys, with that throne room scene.
Oh my god.
And you guys would be like, oh yeah, but it's just, I don't know. It's hard to be objective about the things that you love, but like, I think we're at an age now where like we could be okay with like realizing the faults in something and still enjoying it. And I just don't think there are as many faults as everyone thinks there are in this movie.
I was convinced there would be no way Last Jedi would make my top 10, like my personal top 10.
Really, you didn't think it was going to crack it?
No, I didn't.
So surprised. I'm so surprised it's so high in your top 10.
Because I thought it was going to be a Force Awakens scenario where like the quality was as good as Force Awakens, but in this year, it needed to be better than Force Awakens, and it needed to take
and you're not wrong. This year is
and it fucking did. So like, the more it was one of those things where like it started lower, and then the more and more I think about it, I keep raising it in my top 10.
Yeah,
I had to scale it back a little. I was getting a little ridiculous with the ranking a little bit, but it's still just yeah, ha ha ha. That's a very funny joke.
So fun.
American
cool
football.
story.
Oh
Christ. God!
Who turned JD into a monster?
Yeah. What have you guys started? Like, I can't wait till the
you
wig.
Didn't know any of that
wig
stuff,
gets
right? Or you kind of knew about it but didn't watch it?
Yeah, I'd heard of the room.
I'm
I'd heard
so
of the room
excited that like
name.
this. Like I've watched so many people become Room fans over the last month. So.
Yeah, it's insane, right?
It's great. Yeah.
Oh man. Anyway, Last Jedi still has its merits, but I mean, I think Dunkirk has the edge in terms of filmmaking, and also it deserves to be way higher on the box office in general.
I'm surprised more people didn't see it because war movies do pretty well.
Yeah, I was a little worried that it wouldn't even be in this. I mean, not just this, but like the top 30. Like I thought it was going to get the Blade Runner 2049 treatment because it was, it wasn't the American side. It was
Harry Styles, bro.
I will never forgive the world for Blade Runner. I just won't. Never forgive everybody.
But you know what? I'm totally okay with never getting a third one. We don't need one.
No, and
we
maybe
still
that's
got
good
the movie
because
we got.
if it was successful, it'd
know?
be like Blade Runner 3 is coming out in 2 years. I would have been like, no. So maybe this is for the best that it like tanked so hard that like they're never gonna make a sequel again because the ending is so perfect.
It is so perfect, and
if they ever tried to pick it up, I would be so fucking upset.
Yeah, and it would be like at a time where like Harrison Ford in real life is probably like dead, and you're like, well, then you can't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah,
don't do it.
Yeah, he's kind of imperative to it all. So
right.
Maybe CGI will be a little more advanced by then. No.
Hologram Harrison Ford.
Hey, Rachel looked great.
Wins an award.
CGI lady.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, it's a perfect ending, and we got the movie we got, and nobody can take that away, regardless of where it is on the box office. So at least I have that to feel passionate about. But yeah, and also we can just gab about it at our top 10 list, which is great. Sorry, Dunkirk's where I vote, and I'm sorry we haven't moved on to JD yet. I know you've been prolonging this. So JD, please go ahead. I insist.
Sorry, Luke Skywalker and all the Star Wars fans out there, but it's Dunkirk for me too. It's my favorite movie of the year, and that's not for no reason at all. So, and Jeff said all of them more articulately than I could ever hope to. So I'm just going to follow on that.
Which is interesting because I'm starting my brain. There's a certain point in the podcast whenever my brain starts to go like, "Dude, you're tired," and I just run out of like good, like smart words. I can't talk no good. Basically, is what
words don't come to me very real like.
Yeah, that's me after a day of work, and that's where we are every time after when we record. So I'm already there usually at the start. That's why I don't say anything at all.
I'm happy. This is probably the second bracket we've done where Dunkirk has won, so I'm happy about that. Kyle, how do you feel?
I would have felt really great about that. I would have gone through a whole thing where I'd been like, oh, I really like Last Jedi, but I probably would have ended up on Dunkirk because where Last Jedi is just awesome and like really cool and stuff like that. I would say like I enjoy the cinematography of Rogue One more still, so it's not even the best shot like Star Wars to me.
I agree with that actually.
The aerial stuff was
even though there's a lot of stuff in Last Jedi that's like super beautiful and amazing and well shot. I think it's not the best well shot thing of that series, Whereas Dunkirk is like, that's directing at its fucking finest. Like, you know, it's cinematography at its finest. It's every moving organism of that entire movie, from the score to the production to everything, is just so perfect. It's just creates this great waltz of beauty. I just love the movie. Ranks very high for me as well. Jedi gets pushed a lot forward because of just years and years and years of love for that franchise. But in the vein of objectivity, like Dunkirk is just a way better movie in terms of just filmmaking.
Right. And if Blade Runner were on this list, it would probably win. It would just be quick voting every fucking.
Yeah, we wouldn't have even had an episode. Yeah.
That's so true. Oh fuck!
Blade Runner is perfect, everybody. Yeah, I said it. It's perfect.
It's pretty
much
perfect,
It's why it's two people's number ones and one person's number two. I mean, I'm just saying.
That's why one of us is wrong and two of us are very right.
Look, look. You described Dunkirk as perfect earlier, so we're just talking about two perfect
but now
things here,
it's kind of working against my argument, so I get to change it a little bit.
Look, let's save it for the round. I'm gonna need it.
I can't wait to see how you guys.
Behind.
I don't know. I can't guarantee that you guys will love it as much as I do, but I think I can't wait to see how you guys receive Shape of Water, because that's knocking on Blade Runner's door. Man.
I'm a Del Toro apologies. Even I was like, Crimson Peak wasn't that bad, guys. And it's pretty bad. It's a pretty bad movie.
Yeah. It's not good. Like, I mean, I wouldn't describe it as bad, but like
great, but it's
okay. Like I ended it when I finished it. I was kind of like, oh, that's it. Oh shit.
Yeah,
I was really
never gonna
bummed.
watch that again.
Yeah, exactly.
Got that over with.
So this to me was his best, and I saw somebody say that like Shape of Water was easily his best because people just they just have nostalgia for Pan's Labyrinth, and I'm like, you can't have nostalgia for a movie that's just really great and ages really well. That doesn't make sense.
Right.
Like what? Yeah. I have nostalgia for 10 years ago. That doesn't make fucking sense. I'm sorry. Pan's Labyrinth is really great, and honestly it's neck and neck for me with Shape of Water. But Shape of Water does get the edge for it's got such a relevant story, and it's not like beating you over the head with anything. But that and Blade Runner are just incredible. Those are like my two 5-star ratings this year, like easily.
Sweet, man.
I'm fucking psyched to hear what you guys think about that. But I'm happy Dunkirk won, man. That's still a top 5 movie for me, and that again was kind of an easy decision to make because, I mean, Nolan left it all on the screen for us.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you didn't like it because of the lack of character depth or whatever,
I'm complaining about how he does his movies for the last 10 years. So that's your fault. How about that?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
He tried scaling it way back for you, and you responded by going, "I wish he had more character depth."
Fuckers.
But it's just funny to me because that's like a trope of war movies now. Especially like when I saw Hacksaw Ridge, that was my complaint about it. Was like, man, that was a very familiar war movie, especially in the early goings where he's a kid and then he's aging and he befriends a girl and then they start dating and whatever. And then when they finally get to like the war stuff, it's really fucking amazing, or really good. It's just a powerful movie in general. Even if Mel Gibson might be an asshole in real life, who cares? A lot of them are. Compared to a lot of other people that have been outed, he is not as big of an asshole, which is crazy.
Yeah.
You would.
I know. Yeah, I remember when he was the biggest villain in the entire world. Yeah. He just yelled at his wife a little bit.
Well,
not a big deal.
He has said some inflammatory things towards.
Well, he said some things about Jews.
Religions.
Yeah, it's not a. It's kind of
Jews.
Kind of a guy.
Jews. That's Mel Gibson. All right. But Dunkirk though, like stripped all of that away, and I'm pretty sure Nolan did that consciously. It was something that he went into the movie knowing that, oh my God, people are just gonna be so tired of the, back home I got a girl and she's real nice and I would just want to hold her.
She's waiting for me.
She's waiting for me. I know that much, and she's pregnant. She's totally everybody's got a pregnant wife.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, I got her pregnant before I left. Oh, really? Me too. Yeah.
And this one,
everyone's from the South.
This one is just. I got the sense that all the soldiers that we were following on the beach were kids, and they were kids trying to survive a war. When they kept, one of the French kids, stole a
changed
British
uniform.
person's uniform to try and survive and escape with the British because the French weren't invading at as fast a rate. I mean, a kid would do that to survive a war.
Yeah.
And they would hide underneath the dock, the mole or whatever, to try and wait for the next ship or to jump on the next ship without anybody noticing. Or I guess they hid under there, whatever. Anyway, I'm trying to remember the specifics. I just got to watch it again because honestly, it's a rewarding rewatch. It gets better with each one, honestly. Yep. So people need to watch it again if you haven't seen it and since it's come out. It's really fucking good. Last Jedi though we love, and we are not going to go, well, I'm sorry. I'm not an apologist for that movie. I just fucking love it. It's
yeah,
great.
I don't feel like I'm apologizing for that movie where a lot of people are like, well, this is where you want Star Wars to be, then fine, guys, running into the ground. I'm like, dude, if this is running into the ground, then I fucking see you guys in hell, you know? Because we're running it straight down.
I think it's hilarious, the memes that I've seen of like episode 9. It was all a dream. We wake up.
Oh my god.
Back on whatever.
Oh my god.
I think that's great. Oh man. The memes people have generated have been so good. We've shared them amongst each other, and how ridiculous people can sound, especially if Empire Strikes Back came around with this social media.
Oh, that one was so good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That was perfect.
Luke gets trained by a tree frog on a fucking swamp planet, whatever. Yeah.
And then it just ends.
There's no resolution.
On it, legitimately, that is why I like Last Jedi more than Empire. And you guys everybody needs to understand listening before save your gasp. Star Wars Episode 4 is my favorite one. So it's still not better than all of them. But because Last Jedi is like beginning, middle, end, and then it could go anywhere. Like it's not like Empire ends with all the heroes are like, well, not all the heroes, but
they're tied up in arcs.
You know, and they're like, well, we should go get him. And then the movie ends, and you're like, what the fuck? It's clearly a part 2, you know. And Last Jedi just felt like its own movie. It lived on its own and told its own arcs.
I just love like envisioning JJ like watching the movie for the first time and after hearing that he's going to get the directing for the next movie and going, what the fuck have you left me?
Yeah.
Oh fuck! This is not how I envisioned this going at all.
It's gonna be. So. Here's the opening shot: is Rey on the Millennium Falcon, and Leia's like, "I found this picture of your parents."
Yeah.
Oh,
that's like the first scene. It just undoes everything.
Damn it! Yeah. But yeah, I know he's sweating right now.
Yeah, he has to be.
He's not left me a mess because I don't feel like that way at all. But like,
no,
you got a lot of ends to tie up, bud. So we'll see how you handle that.
And I know they want to direct a lot of people to extra materials like the books and the comics and stuff, and maybe even spin-off movies. Not that I want the Solo one. I'm talking about like coming soon. Hux,
Johnson trilogy.
You know, a Star Wars story.
Coming soon.
Fire the missile.
It's like an animated movie.
Yeah, it does.
I am coming to Hux.
Hux and Phasma coming soon. It actually kind of sounds fun. I want to watch that.
I'd watch that. Yeah,
I would totally watch that.
Make it like a buddy cop movie.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That's it for this episode. We have determined that Dunkirk is the best of the shitstorm of movies that you, the audience, have given your money, making people feel guilty now. But Dunkirk was the one we chose. And thanks for listening. And you can find us on iTunes and YouTube and Facebook. We got a page there. We talk with everybody there. If you want to interact with us, don't be shy. On SoundCloud, we're there too. And I'm on Twitter at Jeff Whitty, WIDDY. And I got, Kyle's over there. He streams on Subcultured, on Twitched.
Yeah, I do
sometimes.
That, yeah.
And sometimes you're on Fathers of the Grind, which is really cool. I've been enjoying all of y'all's banter.
Love that podcast over there.
Love that podcast over there. And then JD, when he's not here, he's doctoring. So
doctoring, yep. In fact, I gotta get out.
Oh, okay.
And go do a doctor
Elliot
thing
for me.
I'm gonna do more than say hi to Elliot for her.
Yeah, better.
With your penis. Okay. Next week we're going back to doing top 10s, and this time it's a recap because we're in the new year as of the time you're listening to this. So we're doing a little top 10s from the year of 2017, and no, it's not too late. Shut your mouth. It's not too late. It's never too late, especially because Black Mirror hasn't come out yet as of the time of this recording.
Oh
so.
yeah, dudes.
So next week we'll do top 10 TV shows, and I'm pretty sure I've watched everything. I mean, I'm still like occasionally plugging in an episode of BoJack Horseman, but like I'm like, this isn't gonna make my 10. So what the fuck? Who cares? And then we're gonna do games after that with Kyle and I, because JD would just list what you played Mario like once, right?
No, I played Super Mario Odyssey a lot.
Oh, you
so
did?
it would, yeah. Over at my sister's boyfriend's house.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he's got a Switch, so.
So yeah, you would just be like, yeah, Super Mario. Who's gonna talk about Super Mario? When can we bring that up? It would just be the whole episode.
Yeah. What's your number 9?
shit.
Super Mario. JD, what's your number 8? Super Mario. that's all I got.
Fallout 3.
Fallout 3 is did y'all hear something where they asked Tommy Wiseau what his favorite movie of the year was, and he goes, well, it was Fantastic Four, and they're like, Tommy, that was like 2 years ago. He's like, yeah, it's still best movie of this year.
Yes.
That's what I would be like.
Yeah, I real like. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Oh man, your impression is getting more spot on. It's kind of scary.
I feel like it's becoming more an impression of James Franco's impression.
Yeah. And that's what Franco. What's really cool about his directing of that movie is that he directed it not in character but in voice. So he wasn't.
Right.
Because if he directed it as Tommy, it would be a fucking mess of a movie.
It'd be a train wreck.
Yeah. So he was just giving directions like in Tommy's voice. That's all it was. Yeah. And his hair and stuff like that. Yeah, you move camera over here, look good in light, okay? Like he was just doing that, and I found that very interesting.
Yeah.
I
love that movie. I wish I had
hope
room
he
for
gets
it in my 10.
nominated for-
Me too. It
for
probably
an
would have made top 10 like almost any other year. But
Yeah.
sorry.
Yep.
Sorry.
I can agree. Yeah, it's the more I thought about it, even like I counted marks against it for not being completely accurate to the true story, and then I listened to more interviews with James Franco and what he was trying to achieve with the movie. He wasn't really trying to, especially because he wanted to work with Tommy, he wasn't trying to be like, oh, fuck this guy. You know, it wasn't that type of story. And so knowing what he tried to achieve, I thought he nailed it.
The real version of the story would be a fuck this guy.
Yeah, it would
totally
be 100%.
crazy, insane person. But
yeah. But so, I mean, I don't know. Just in retrospect, I ended up putting it on my honorable mentions because it was really a strong movie.
Very strong.
From what it was. Yeah, it's fucking great, dude. I can't wait to talk about those fucking movies, man. I know y'all watch it a lot. I don't know why I'm talking like that. I'm sorry.
Almost going Eddie Murphy with that
Yeah,
one.
I was
Almost.
a little bit. So yeah, stay tuned for those episodes coming forth here henceforth. And see you guys later. Oh, high pitched.